Miami will go left to right. Boston will go right to left. It'll be Bam Adebayo and Al Horford jumping it up at center court. Boston will move right to left with Derek White at the top of the key in the backcourt. Jimmy Butler at the top of the key in the front court to our left. Zach Zarba, the crew chief, Josh Tiven, James Williams, the other officials, and Game 6 is underway. Miami wins the opening toss. We'll see how Gabe Vincent does on that injured left ankle. He hurt it in Game 4. Vincent's got it top of the key, drives into the lane, goes for the right-hand layup, missed it, and it's rebounded by Horford. Quick outlet for Derek White in the front court to our left. Jason Tatum driving into the paint, hangs in the air, can't get the bank shot, rebounded by Martin. Miami on the move. Martin in the front court. Gets into the paint, stepped through, lost the ball, but ends up in the hands of Butler, left baseline. Butler backing down Jaylen Brown. Pump fake, goes up with a shot short. Rebounded by Brown. Turns and races up the floor. Brown driving, going one-on-one. Layup with the right hand, good off the window.
You see both teams looking to give very aggressive driving angles early. Both teams putting their head down, put the ball on the deck, and going to the cup.
2-0. Boston in front. Three-pointer left side is good from Strus, and Miami's on the board.
It's been a little bit of a struggle for Strus of late. Coming off a Game 5 where he was 1 for 5. Nice to see that one go down for him.
Tatum left side lobs for White. Middle of the paint, gets fouled as he put the shot up, but they're going to say no, it was on the catch. But it is a foul on Miami on Butler. First on the Heat.
So you see right away that the double team to Tatum comes and you dump it out immediately. That was well done.
Tatum will inbound, far side, minute gone by, 3-2 Miami. Smart in the right corner, back to the basket, working on Strus. Into the paint, fall-away jumper, no good, rebounded by Bam. Adebayo running the floor left to right, crossing the timeline. Miami up 90 seconds in, 3-2 Heat. Strus almost turned it over in the backcourt, fumbled it at the mid-court line, but recovered it. Strus right side, poked away out of bounds, near side right by Smart.
You see what Boston does. Every time Strus tries to put it on the deck, they just get right in his grill. They do not believe he can handle ball pressure.
Strus inbounding to Bam Adebayo, catching at the head of the key. Guarded by Horford. He'll take the shot from there. It's good. And Miami leads at 5-2.
Al Horford giving him a 3 or 4 step cushion and saying, beat me from that distance, Bam Adebayo. The jumper is on point.
2 minutes gone by, 5-2 Miami. Derek White in between the rings, throws to the right side for Tatum, guarded by Bam Adebayo. Jab step, shot clock at 8, drives right baseline, knocked out of bounds by Bam Adebayo with 6 on the timer. Tatum will inbound baseline left.
Level of physicality brought by Bam guarding Tatum there.
Tatum fires to Jaylen Brown, right wing. Shot clock at 4, backing up, and they're going to no whistle. A basket is good by Jaylen Brown, taking the 18-footer.
Just uses his left arm, his off arm, to push Caleb Martin out of the way and gets to the sweet spot.
Bam holding the ball, three-point line, lobs low right. Butler couldn't finish. The alley-oop, Boston running now 4-on-3. Tatum in the front court, drives and kicks right corner for Horford. 5-4 Miami, 9.5 to go in the first. Horford backing down Strus. And Horford has a shot blocked by Martin. Miami ball. Martin moving left to right into the front court. Right side is Butler, working on Smart. Stop the dribble, throws it back to midcourt. Strus takes the 3 with Horford checking him, and it's off the target. Rebounded by Jaylen Brown under the basket. Ahead to Smart in the front court on the left wing. 5-4 Miami. Pass near side out of bounds. Last touch by Boston.
High level of physicality on both ends of the floor. There is some grabbing, some holding, some physicality, all of it right now.
Miami ball. Vincent across the timeline. Throws to Strus on the right side. Guarded by Tatum. 8.5 to go. 5-4 Miami here to start the game. Strus on the right side. Drives into the lane. Strips. Lost the ball out of bounds off his leg. It'll be Boston basketball.
Al Horford pinching over in defensive help. Just the strip downs. We saw so many of those in the last game by Boston.
Smart into the front court. Guarded by Strus at the top of the key. Beat by one, 5-4. Smart left side. Tried to pass it inside, deflected and turned over. Miami ball. In the front court, Martin driving middle of the lane. Layup is good with the right hand. 7-4 Miami. 4 minutes gone by. Jaylen Brown, right wing, skips to the left side. Smart will put up a three, and it's good. Boston ties the game at 7.
Well, Marcus Smart was a monster from 3 that last game. Any open shot, he looked to unfurl it.
7:45 to go here in the first quarter. Strus on the left side. Left-hand dribble, steps back. Fires to the right wing for Martin. Shot clock at 7. Martin left-hand dribble into the lane. Goes for the lefty layup and scores off the glass. He's got 4.
He's just aggressively attacking Derek White, unable to contain him.
9-7 Miami. Right wing, Jaylen Brown. Kick to the left side. A 3 from White off target. Long rebound, Brown. So Boston will keep with 7:15 to go. A jumper left elbow, Brown got it. Game tied at 9.
That's the sweet spot for him. Crossover into the elbow jump shot by Jaylen Brown. If his mid-range is cooking, then he starts to heat up from 3.
Game tied at 9. 5 minutes gone by. Miami ball front court to our right. Left side is Butler, guarded by Tatum. Shot clock at 9. Tatum backs off, and now Horford takes Butler. He stops at the free throw line. Shot clock at 4. Martin on the right side. Left-hand dribble to the elbow, puts up the shot. Brooklyn it in. Caleb Martin again, 3 for 3 to start the game.
And I'll tell you this, if you're the Boston Celtics, you feel like you've played decent defense on him. Caleb Martin is a tough shot maker. Defender in his grill, no problem.
11-9, Miami leads. 6.5 to go first quarter. Brown left side. Guarded by Vincent, throws to Smart, top of the key. He'll try a 3. It spins around and won't fall. Rebounded by Martin of Miami. Martin knocked away from behind by Derek White, a turnover. Numbers for Boston, 4 on 3. Horford running the court, catches the bounce pass, and dunks it over Martin to tie the game at 11.
Lack of urgency by the Miami Heat in transition defense. Boston off a live turnover gets numbers, easy opportunity.
They just let Horford get past them. 6-minute mark, game tied 11 apiece. Butler left side on the front court. Skip the Strus, right wing a 3, no good, and rebounded by White. White across the line. Dribble handoff to Smart. Left wing, Jaylen Brown puts it on the deck. Stop the dribble. Hits Tatum. On the left side, he'll put up a 3. No good, but a foul on Strus. It'll be 3 free throws for Jason Tatum.
And Strus is pleading his case. But in going out to challenge, it looks like he might have entered Jason Tatum's airspace.
So it'll be 3 foul shots and we come back. Second team foul on Miami. The game is tied at 11 with 5:51 to go in the first. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
The Dave app wants to change the way you bank, starting with putting more money in your pocket. Get up to $500 instantly with an extra cash advance. You can even earn more money with a side hustle. Dave also helps you level up your cash with ways to budget, set goals, and save. It's the banking app for smarter money moves. Download the Dave app now or go to dave.com. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve. Member FDIC.
MLB fans, when you need tickets to catch your favorite team live all season long, Ticketmaster's got them. As the world's largest ticket marketplace, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of seats available and at competitive prices, so you never have to worry about missing a game. Take yourself out to the ballpark this season and get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/MLB. That's Ticketmaster.com/MLB.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Nothing is every day.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clear skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio. After surviving their second straight must-win, the Celtics face yet another must-win, this time in Game 6. Will they survive? Or will the Heat finally put them away and advance to the NBA Finals?
With a three.
Game 6 of the Celtics and Heat, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on Sirius XM Channel 80.
Kevin Winter with you inside a Granger studio. Don't forget to log on to our Twitter account at NBA on ESPN Radio to vote in the AutoZone In the Zone poll question. Who's going to get in the zone for tonight's game number 6? Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Bam Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler in the zone. Brought to you by AutoZone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? They offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries, and they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone, AutoZone. This game so far is not for the faint of heart. 11-11, 5:51 to go in the opening quarter. Back with Roscoe to Woody and Doris Burke. Here's Dave Pash.
And right now the leading scorer is Jaylen Brown for Boston. Not really a surprise there, 6 points. But Caleb Martin for Miami having the postseason of his life. 3 for 3 from the floor. He also has 3 rebounds.
2 tough drives, and then the jump shot with the defender in his grill. Derek White, after one of the drives, took the basketball and smashed it into his forehead in frustration. He's a tough shot maker, and I love the fact that Spo pulled the trigger, took Kevin Love out. Kevin Love is a guy for the Miami Heat in this series who's started the first 5 minutes, got lifted, started the second half, played 5 minutes, got lifted, and you didn't see much more of him.
Meanwhile, substitutions for Boston, Robert Williams and Grant Williams check in. Malcolm Brogdon is out tonight. At the line is Jason Tatum shooting 3 free throws. The first is up and good. It is 12-11 Celtics. First point for Tatum tonight. He's 0 for 1 from the floor. Jimmy Butler's 0 for 2 for the Heat. Tatum bends the knees for a second foul shot. It's on the way, and it's good.
He's been playing a patient game of late. When they have double-teamed him, he's gotten off the ball quickly. He's made the right reads. And in the last game, Boston Celtics shot a very high percentage off of his passes.
Made all 3. Boston by 3. 5:50 remaining in the first quarter. 14-11 Celtics trying to win their 3rd straight and force a Game 7 on Monday. Left wing is Butler in the front court. Tatum watching him. Butler at the three-point line. Going to shoot a 3. And he drills it to tie the game. His first field goal.
Eric Spoelstra talked about Jimmy Butler's probably going to have to shoot the jumper more tonight than he's been willing to the last couple games, so he unleashes from 3.
He was 3 for 12 in the series. Prior to that make, driving his Tatum right side. Layup is good off the glass. 5 quick points for Jason Tatum. 16-14 Boston, 5:15 to play here in the first quarter. On the left side is Butler with a jab step. Right hand dribble now to the elbow, gets into the paint. Looking to the corner, feeds Vincent. Hesitation, dribble, drive, hangs, goes up with the left hand, missed the shot. Good defense by Brown. Vincent's on the floor. 5-on-4 for the Celtics. Step through move by Brown, and a push shot is good. Gorgeous move, Jaylen Brown.
2 plays defensively challenging Vincent into an awkward shot. The rake and take in transition. Degree of difficulty, both ends high.
Round 4 of 4. 4-point Boston lead. Strus drives right side and scores off glass. Second field goal for Strus.
That was right into the chest of the great shot blocker, Robert Williams.
18-16 Celtics, 4.5 to play first quarter. Right corner, Jaylen Brown going to take a long 2. Rainbows at home. Jaylen Brown is 5 for 5. He's got 10 points to start the game.
He got back to being patient and reading what the defense gave him. Advice he got from Marcus Smart.
It's a 4-point Celtic lead, 4:15 to go first quarter. High post left is Bam Adebayo facing up on Grant Williams on driving right hand. Middle of the lane. Jump hook is good for Bam.
Grant Williams had very good defensive position, made Bam play through his chest. It's just that Bam has great strength and dexterity.
20-18 Celtics lead with 3:50 to go in the first quarter. Tatum top of the key. Let's fly a 3. Too strong. Rebound Martin. Miami looking to tie the game, retake the lead here with 3:45 to go. Butler stops on the three-point line right, now backs up. Robert Williams III is guarding him. Now Butler attacks, driving right side, gets past Williams. Floater is no good, but he was fouled, and will go to the line. That's the first foul on the Celtics.
Credit Miami for getting the matchup with Robert Williams. Eric Spoelstra has preached over the last day that they need to get Bam and Jimmy into positions of strength where they're comfortable. One-on-one, isolated in space against Robert Williams, Jimmy Butler will take that.
Butler at the line for the first time tonight, already 3 points, 3 assists. Didn't play a ton in the second half of Game 5. First foul shot here is good. Had that brilliant Game 1 in Boston where he had 35 points, 7 assists, and 6 steals. 3 of those in the fourth quarter. But rather pedestrian numbers since by Butler standards in the playoffs. Second free throw good, and we're tied at 20 with 3.5 to go first quarter. Butler with 5. 6 for Martin, 5 for Strus, 10 for Jaylen Brown, 5 for Tatum. Tatum at the top of the key, fires left wing. Jaylen Brown driving, gets into the lane, stops about 10 feet away, fires underneath to Robert Williams, who scores. Low right, off the window.
Jump stop, play off 2 feet, wait for the defense to clear, and a nice delivery to Robert Williams, who is right underneath the cup.
22-20 Boston, 3:10 to go first quarter. Right side Butler walks into a 3, hits the back rim, no, and rebounded by Robert Williams III.
You don't see Jimmy Butler go to that 3 off the bounce that quickly in the shot clock often.
Already taken 4 shots, made 1. It was a 3 from the left side. 2:50 on the game clock. Boston by 2 to start the game. And into the lane goes Jaylen Brown. Missed the shot. Williams is there. The putback is good from Robert Williams.
He can attack that hard because he knows there's going to be rotation, which means that Robert can get to the offensive glass.
Kyle Lowry into the game. Stops at the foul line. Takes the jumper. Around and out. And good block out by Brown, making sure Butler didn't get the offensive rebound. And it's controlled by Robert Williams. Front court, left side, Jason Tatum. 20-footer from the right wing. Good! Jason Tatum now with 7 points. And the Celtics lead by 6, their largest lead.
Uses his left shoulder to get Gabe Vincent separation from his body.
Butler left elbow, drives through the lane, stops, kicks it back out to Lowry. Guarded by Derek White. Lowry spinning, driving middle of the lane. Leaves it for Zeller, goes up for the dunk, and he was fouled by Jaylen Brown.
I'd take that.
Brown, second on Boston.
I'd take that foul, though, Dave. I'm thrilled with that. That's just aggressive close by Jaylen Brown.
And we wondered what kind of energy and intensity will we see from Boston. They're bringing it right now on both ends of the floor. They lead at 26-20 with 2:09 to go in the first quarter. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
Shopify presents cool sheets from AHA to
lying awake while you bake isn't cool. I suffered from the wrong kind of hot in bed, heat-induced insomnia. That was my aha moment. Bed sheets that keep you cool. Then I thought, how do I even sell bed sheets? That's when I had the idea that made it all possible, signing up on Shopify. With the help of Shopify's intuitive online store creator, I started selling sustainable bamboo sheets that keep cool year-round. And my cool idea became a reality. Hot sleepers around the world rejoice. Shopify makes it simple to keep your cool while starting and growing your business. Start selling with Shopify today and join the commerce platform powering millions of businesses worldwide. From aha to anything is possible.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. Shopify.com/play.
Memorial Day on ESPN Radio. Carlos Correa.
Wow!
And the AL Central leading Minnesota Twins head to Houston to face Yordan Alvarez and the Astros.
Hit a ton! Yordan Alvarez with a 3-run homer.
The Minnesota Twins at the Houston Astros. Coverage begins Monday at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on your smart speaker.
Sunday.
Welcome to the Monaco Grand Prix.
Formula One takes to the streets.
The Street Fighter's done it again. King of the Streets.
As the rock stars of racing return to their crown jewel.
Check out you for Monaco.
The Formula One Monaco Grand Prix. Coverage begins Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on ABC and ESPN+. ESPN coverage presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Kevin Kevin Richard with you inside our Granger studio. No place like your home for the Miami Heat. Brought to you by Angie. With Angie, it's easier than ever to get home projects done well. Get started on the Angie app or go to Angie.com today. No place like home for the Heat because they've never lost a home game 6 with an opportunity to close out a series. They're perfect. Tonight, with 2:09 to go in the opening quarter, a chance to close out Boston. They trailed 26-20 before we rejoin Dave Ash and Doris Burke. Here's Roz Goldham-Wooding at the Kaseya Center.
Thanks, Kevin. Jason Tatum pointed out what's changed about the Celtics defense, saying they're just more connected now. They're not leaving guys on an island. They're helping one another. Jason said the last 2 games we've been on a string, being there, recovering for one another. I think that's contagious. Guys?
And right now the Celtics holding Miami to 8 of 17, which decent, 47%. Meanwhile, Boston 11 of 18, 61%. And Jaylen Brown's 5 of 6.
They've been swarming defensively on Bam Adebayo's catches and forays into the paint. They have been sending aggressive help. They've pushed Jimmy Butler to spaces he's not necessarily comfortable. Their defense has been outstanding last couple games.
Zeller at the line, shoots the free throw and hits it. 26-21, Celtics, 2:09 to go in the opening quarter. Jaylen Brown on the bench right now. Marcus Smart back out there with White, Tatum, and Grant and Robert Williams. Second free throw from Zeller, no good. Rebound by Tatum.
But Tatum has really all year been an aggressive rebounder.
Yeah, he went after that. Robert Williams looked like he had position. Tatum was going to make sure that Boston secured the rebound. Tatum doubled at the top of the circle. Throws to the left wing. Smart puts it up and hits. A 3 for Marcus Smart. The lead is up to 8 for Boston.
Marcus Smart, 2 for 3 from 3. He is aggressive when he's catching it in space.
1:40 to go in the first. Lowry on the left wing. Moves to his right. Stops at the top of the key. Fires to Martin. Catch and shoot 3 on the left side. Hit it. Martin again.
And Grant and Derek White confused about who was supposed to go out and guard that. Caleb had all day to line that 3 up.
He's 4 for 4. That's his first 3-point attempt. 29-24 Celtics. A minute 15 to go first quarter. Tatum driving right side, goes through the lane, and is fouled on the layup. Try with the left hand. It was no good. It'll shoot 2.
Well, you've got an aggressive Tatum and an aggressive Brown. And one of the things I think they're doing is if the big is in front of them, they're getting the big switch, whether it's Zeller or Bam, they're going right at him.
So Zeller committed the foul. That is his first. Third on Miami. Tatum at the line, already 3 for 3 at the stripe. First one is good. 4 for 4 and 8 points for Tatum. He and Brown have combined for 18 of the 30 points so far. That's what you want if you're Joe Mazzulla. Your stars stepping up in the most important game of the year. Duncan Robinson checking in for Miami. Strus will go to the bench.
Well, I wonder, Dave, without Malcolm Brogdon, the rotation right now through this first 11 minutes is 7 for Boston. It is 8 on the other side. We've not yet seen Highsmith, who was tremendous the last game out. So let's see how this unfolds in terms of rotation.
Second free throw is good. 31-24 Celtics. A minute remaining here in the first quarter. Butler 35 feet away on the left side. Uses the screen. Derek White on him on the switch. 10 to shoot. Back to the basket. Butler. High post left. Now through the lane to the right side. Kick to the right corner. Martin puts up another 3 and scores again. He's 5 for 5 and 2 of 2 from 3-point range.
Robert Williams had to close out, drops his head immediately when the ball goes through the basket.
Fourth assist for Butler, 12 points for Martin. Boston by 4. 45 seconds to go in the first. Smart, front court left side, top of the key now. A 3 is short. Offensive rebound, Tatum. White left side. He'll put it up and drill a 3. Great answer from Derek White, his first basket.
3 for 6 from 3 are the Boston, 3 for 7 are the Boston Celtics.
Miami is 4 for 7. Bam driving middle of the lane. Missed the shot. Rebound Butler. Spinning. Pump fake. Goes up. Missed the shot off the window. The tip won't go. And finally it's put back in by Kyle Lowry, the smallest guy on the floor.
Kyle Lowry has some pop. He's a prideful guy. He struggled the last 2 games. His activity level much better tonight.
15 seconds left here in the opening quarter. About a half-second difference between the game and shot clocks. 34-29, Boston leads. Tatum guarded by Butler, 35 feet away on the right side. He's doubled there, 4 seconds left, shoots for 3, and it's no good. Rebound Martin, and that's the end of the first quarter. And if you're Miami, you have to be encouraged because Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum came to play. They got 19 points, but Miami despite not shooting as well as the Celtics, are only down 5, 34-29 at the end of the first quarter. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Greeny.
LeBron is definitely not retiring. Definitely not.
Never listen to what a player says about his future in the frustrated moments after a defeat that ends his season.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
There are more people right now rooting against Lamar simply because he got paid than are rooting against Deshaun Watson, who has things far greater on his record than any of this conversation. The stupidity with which we are now talking about Lamar makes no sense. In my mind, this is very simple. A guy went out, fought for his value, got paid. Now he has an opportunity to prove everybody wrong, and I hope like hell he does.
Fitz and Harry. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
He's 6'10". He's wet from three. Murray might be their second most important player. You're not going to convince me that Michael Porter is not their second best player.
The right time with Bomani Jones.
You can listen or follow on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
You can't miss Canty and Carlin, Pound for Pound, the biggest show on ESPN Radio.
Can we go to ZipRecruiter for the Lakers to get a third star? Can we use them to find? Can we use ZipRecruiter to get us a third star? We need another star outside of Bron and AD. I'm just asking, how good are you, ZipRecruiter? Can you do that for us? Because that's what we need. I got to tell you, I just had a vision of Kyrie Irving's resume on ZipRecruiter. Oh, man. Okay, it says here that you decided not to show up last year on principle, but you did oddly show up at a political fundraiser. What do you say about that? And he showed up at a nightclub, too. Birthday party for his sister and his dad, Yeah, he did that. But his teammates and his coaches didn't know where he was. No, exactly. That sounds like a guy you can depend on to help you win a championship, LeBron.
I'm tired. I want to go home.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
From inside our Granger Studios, I'm Kevin Winter. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
Williams, front court, left side. Jason Tatum, 20-footer from the right wing. Good. Jason Tatum now with 7 points, and the Celtics lead by 6, their largest lead.
Uses his left shoulder to get Gabe Vincent separation from his body.
Tatum finishes the opening quarter with 9, Jaylen Brown with 10, Caleb Martin with 12, keeping Miami in it. Boston by 5 as we go to the second. Before we rejoin Dave and Doris, here's Roscoe Woodey.
Thanks, Kevin. The Heat feel the urgency to finish this tonight. Bam Adebayo told me you cannot let a team like the Celtics hang around. We've seen in the last 2 games, they can catch fire, and you're playing with fire at that point. So the best thing to do is put them away now. He also said it would be special to close it out in front of their fans.
They certainly don't want to go back to Boston for Game 7, Roz, on Monday. Meanwhile, with no Malcolm Brogdon, Sam Hauser getting a chance to play early on here for Boston on the floor to start the second quarter. Left front court, it is Marcus Smart driving to the right side of the floor and getting it to Al Horford. Now a handoff for Hauser, top of the key, shot clock at 5. Left wing, Grant Williams puts up a 3. Back rim, no offensive rebound. Jaylen Brown, low right, couple of pump fakes, stripped, but a foul is called on Miami. And Brown will go to the line. He had 10 points. He's already got 6 rebounds as well. He's shaking up there. He's holding his left wrist.
It's why I wondered, Dave, would the rotation extend beyond 7? And Peyton Pritchard, when he's played, it's not been great. Sam Hauser is a guy who they believe is a high-level shooter, can make some shots. But I love what Jaylen Brown is doing. You see, Grant Williams is telling the official his wrist hurts because Miami is holding him. And I love the up fake and the contact taken. A hard slap down foul by Kyle
Lowry gets in there and talks to Jaylen Brown. They have to be separated. James Williams, one of the officials. And Jaylen Brown, don't know if he started it, and Kyle Lowry wanted to make sure that ended quickly.
Kyle Lowry's a champion, and he's coming with the right disposition and demeanor tonight, and Jaylen's just going to let him know.
Lowry was the one that committed the foul.
I'm here too. Like, I'm not going anywhere.
First free throw, no good from Brown. And they're showing the replay of it. Jaylen Brown had backed off the foul line. Kyle Lowry was standing at the top of the key, and Jaylen Brown had words. And to your point, Lowry, very proud. He went to make sure that Brown knew that he heard him. Second free throw rattles around and falls, so Jaylen Brown's got 11. It's 35-29 Boston, 30 seconds into the second quarter. Gabe Vincent on the left wing, guarded by Smart, left-hand dribble driving. Kicks to the right side for Martin. Now Lowry right wing. Bounce pass to the left side, Duncan Robinson. Up top, Lowry. A three on the way. Way off. Hit the backboard and nothing else. Rebound Celtics.
Boston switching everything.
Jaylen Brown on the run. Catches the pass under the basket. Kick out right side of three. Grant Williams, no. Rebound Martin for Miami on the near side. Martin going to walk it up the floor. 12 points for him. Loses the ball. Lowry dives on the floor to save it, though. 1 minute into the second quarter. Miami ball, Vincent right side. Drives in the lane. Lob pass intercepted by Jaylen Brown. 5-on-4 for the Celtics. Smart right wing. Stop the dribble. Guarded there by Martin. Tatum's on the bench here. Brown left side. Driving. Lost the ball out of bounds. Baseline left. Miami basketball.
Got to live with that. Jaylen has been much of your offense, the aggressive driving, the rebounding, the assisting he's done. Sometimes you're going to have those kinds of plays. Now, the one thing I'd say about that, we've seen Jaylen struggle with multiple turnover games, right? So you live with one. You can't over-penetrate if you're Jaylen, so make sure you're making good decisions.
Jimmy Butler in, Caleb Martin to the bench. Miami ball, front court to our right. Heat down 6, 35-29. Bam drives and kicks. Robinson up top. His three on the way. Got it! Duncan Robinson again off the bench with a big three.
And again, it's Bam Adebayo. Those two work out. They work on their two-man game, and it shows.
Miami 5 for 9 from 3. 3-point Boston lead. 2 minutes into the second quarter. Smart, mid-range, left side, drives into the paint. Goes chest to chest with Vincent. Scores and a foul. Marcus Smart with 8 points. And Vincent commits his first personal foul.
With Lowry and Vincent on the floor together, Dave, you've got two small guards. Lowry is an excellent defender. So is Vincent. But in a post-up situation, because Marcus has the size differential, it's easy to get over the top of them.
Boy, it looked like Smart was the one that initiated the contact there, but they call it on the defense. Some high-level offense right now on both ends. Second team foul on Miami. 10-10 to go second quarter. Foul shot is good. Boston 7 of 8 as a team at the line. They lead again by 6, 38-32. Vincent and Lowry on the floor together, with Vincent holding the ball high on the left side, left alone. He's going to put up a three, and he drills it. Gabe Vincent with a triple.
Vincent now with an open look. We've seen Martin with an open three. Boston's got to run them off the line.
38-35 Celtics. Grant Williams on the left side. Tatum kind of posts up on Butler. They don't throw it to him, though. Horford handing off for Smart with 8 to shoot at the midcourt line. Lob to Jaylen Brown, baseline left, driving on Lowry. Stripped by Lowry, and a steal. Butler has it for the Heat into the front court. 9.5 to go in the first half. 3-point Celtic lead. Kyle Lowry up top, guarded by Brown, has a screen to his left. Brown still harassing. Lowry in the paint, lost the ball. Brown punches it out to Smart. Ahead to Tatum in the front court. Goes at Duncan Robinson, and is fouled as he puts up the shot. It's short. It'll go to the line for 2.
Jason holding his head back in disbelief that he couldn't finish the play against Duncan Robinson. Good job by Robinson, making sure the contact is good enough, strong enough, that you don't allow the and one situation.
Third team foul already on the Heat. First on Duncan Robinson. Jason Tatum 5 for 5 at the line. So the trio of Brown, Tatum, and Smart now have 30 of the 39 points for Boston as Tatum gets the first free throw. Tatum has 10, Brown has 11, Smart with 9.
Brief run for Hauser, who didn't, to me, in his 2 minutes, look super comfortable in the game. You know, that's the problem for him, is he's not been a part of the series with Brogdon going out. You try to give him a look and see what he can do.
Tatum gets the second one as well. 5-point Celtic lead. 9 minutes to go. First half. 40-35. Vincent, top of the key, takes a 30-footer, and it's good.
3. I keep saying it. I know he was well beyond the line. That's 3 uncontested threes. Miami 7 for 11.
from three-point range. They're shooting better from three than they are from two. They're down 2, though, to Boston. 40-38 Celtics, 9:04 to go in the first half. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
You can't miss a moment with Greeny.
Have I sort of overdone it on the Aaron Rodgers stuff?
Remember when Mike Tannenbaum suggested that the Jets take a quarterback and you almost smacked him in the face?
I mean, I think my reaction to that was startlingly restrained. It's a miracle, I think, that I did not lay hands on that man.
I wish they did that.
The most insane thing I've ever heard a person say in my entire life. But he and I are no longer speaking.
Greeny, weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
Tony in Ohio.
Matt, I love you, but you're like a little brother. I'd like to lock you in the room when our parents go away because you irritate my soul. Anyway.
How did I irritate your soul? Wait a minute. You can't just lock me in the room and not tell me why?
You just irritate my soul, period.
Can you let me out of the room?
Key, Jay, and Max. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
The SB Pod with Scott Van Pelt.
This is his one shining moment. And to Block's credit, he recognized that, enjoyed that moment, every moment. And Rory only made it better, like the hole-in-one. And when it was over, Rory gives him a handshake. And he's like, that was awesome. And I know he meant it. Yeah. Those moments, like Rory's had his time and he's going to have it again. This is as good as it's ever going to get for Block.
Check out the SB Pod with Scott Van Pelt wherever you get your podcasts.
Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max.
What about that tone makes me believe that Julius Randle is one of the leaders of this team? Maybe they wanted more. You're damn right they wanted it more.
Wake up and get up with Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max.
Greg in Virginia, you're on KJM.
Y'all have an awesome show. Listen every morning. Jay Williams, got a love-hate relationship with you, man. 82 with you. I love you now.
Key, Jay, and Max. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Kevin Winter with you inside our Granger studio. After missing him for game number 5, Eric Spoelstra welcomes Gabe Vincent back in the lineup tonight.
He's been one of our more important attackers, and scorers. And he's been able to do it in a lot of different ways, pick and rolls or off the ball, when Jimmy and Bam are operating. He's also been one of our guys that's been able to get both those guys the ball where they need it.
And he's also a guy who can knock down the three. Gabe Vincent, 2 of 2 from deep. So, too, is Caleb Martin. Miami, 7 for 11. The Heat are within 2, 9:04 to go in the second quarter. Before we rejoin Dave Pash and Doris Burke at Kaseya Center, here's Ross Golden winning in Game 6.
Thanks, Kevin. Marcus Smart told me that he had to step up to lead the team emotionally. I stood outside of the Celtics huddle in that timeout. He literally sat in the coach's chair in the middle of the huddle, instructing the team on what they needed to do defensively, also calming them down, reminding them that they're good. Talk about a veteran team. Everybody was speaking up before Missoula could even get in there. They even watched a video clip together. Al Horford, Jaylen Brown, even Jason Tatum spoke up. They worked through it together.
Well, we'll see how they respond, because Doris was pointing out during the break that intensity for Boston is not there like it was earlier in the game and certainly in Game 5. Tatum driving right of the lane, leans in, draws contact, missed the shot, but he'll go back to the line. He's already 7 of 7. Let's see if this is on Butler. It is. That's 2 on Jimmy Butler.
So to Raj's point, that's great that they're communicating in the huddle. The more important place to communicate is between the lines. So there's been multiple threes where they've been wide open. Miscommunication between Grant and Derek White on one. I did not think Grant Williams and Jaylen Brown had the requisite energy on the three that Kevin Winter just referenced by Gabe Vincent. It's got to be communication, and it's got to be desperation in terms of your effort. I think they need to raise their level.
Check in with Roz for more.
Doris, to your point, one thing that I noticed every single player saying to one another, we got to talk, communicate, guys.
All right, Roz, good stuff. Second free throw good. Tatum 9 for 9. He's got 13 points. Boston by 4. 8:45 to play. Second quarter. Celtics trying to force a Game 7. Miami looking to advance to the NBA Finals. Driving into the lane is Vincent. Missed the layup with the right hand. He thought he was fouled. And Celtics have the ball. Tatum driving into the front court. Pass to Horford. High-lows it. Grant Williams misses the layup low right. Batted in the air and taken in by Robinson of Miami. Vincent in the front court left side. Hands off for Robinson. Skip to Lowry again. Vincent, Lowry on the court together. Lowry right wing keeps the defender on his hip. Takes the jumper 15 feet short. And Horford got the rebound. Ahead to Tatum. Fires to Smart at the free throw line. Travel. Turnover by Boston with 8:08 to go in the half.
You can see that Boston wants tempo. As Eric Spoelstra said, there's no secret here. Boston would like to speed things up, play off your misses or your turnovers. You have to be careful. Like if Marcus Smart is cutting and he's not expecting the ball from Tatum, that's where you pick up the travel. Defender was in the lane waiting for him. It was really going to be a tough catch and go no matter what for Marcus.
8 minutes to go in the first half. Celtics 42, Heat 38. Bam Adebayo, front court to our right. Top of the key. Throws to Vincent on the left wing. He's hit a couple triples already. Now Butler, 15 feet away, left side, driving baseline, pump fake. Trying to go up and shoot, but he can't. Out to Robinson with 5 on the timer. Robinson through the lane with 2 to shoot. Robinson, top of the key, has to put it up from about 30 feet. Off the front rim, no. And Horford couldn't get the rebound. He tucks it out of bounds last, trying to block out Bam Adebayo.
That's exactly right. But I'll tell you this, give Boston credit. After giving up that big game 1 and losing game 2 and 3, the discipline they've showed, staying down on Jimmy Butler's shot fakes, not letting him get into their body. They have been so good with Jimmy Butler defensively, and Jimmy just 1 for 5 in his 15 minutes.
Lowry checks out. Caleb Martin comes back into the game. He's got 12 points and 6 rebounds. Butler at the three-point line right side. Jab step. Now draws Horford on the switch. Takes a jumper from 18 feet. Front rim, no. Battle for the loose ball. Bam has it. Goes back up and is fouled. Missed the shot, but he'll go to the line for 2. Bam Adebayo getting it done now on the offensive glass, and the fans applauding here.
And the 3 green jerseys were on the inside. Both Brown and Horford had actual inside position. It's just that Bam, his second jump is as fast as his first jump. And what he does is he never stops moving. You think you've got position, he will use a swim motion like a lineman will do in football, and he's so good at getting into his own space.
First free throw for Bam, though, off the back rim, no. Foul was on Jaylen Brown, his second. First team foul on Boston, 14 fouls on the Heat. Butler is 1 for 6. Bam is 2 for 4 from the floor, 4 points, 2 assists. Butler does have 4 assists with just 5 points. 42-38 Boston, 7:29 to go in the half. Second foul shot rattles down for Adebayo, and then he slaps his head with his left hand, frustrated that he missed the first one.
Let's give a quick reminder that the Miami Heat love playing possession ball games. It feels like that may be the case this evening.
They're such a clutch team. In the front court to our left is Smart. Lob to Tatum on the right wing, guarded by Butler. Tatum might try to drive on him, see if Butler will pick up that third foul. Pull-up jumper, good from 14 feet from Tatum.
I like the strategy. You know, Jimmy is going to challenge, but only to a certain degree. That little fadeaway by Tatum is pure.
5-point lead for Boston, 5 minutes into the second quarter. Vincent driving left of the lane, stops the dribble. Tatum defending. Out to Vincent near the midcourt line, shot clock at 9. So Martin drives, lefty layup, no good. Overshot the basket, knocked out of bounds by Bam Adebayo. But again, Bam very active. You don't see the Celtics blocking him out.
He really did not have position. Almost got a hold of that with his left hand, just couldn't control it.
Celtics 44, Heat 39. 6.5 to go, first half. Smart, top of the key, stops his dribble. He had Tatum on a back cut, but didn't throw it to him. Now Tatum catching high post right. Turnaround jump shot is good. Jason Tatum with 17, and the lead is 7 for Boston.
He's going right at Jimmy Butler, and it's for the reason you noted. Jimmy's got 2. They're going to work that matchup, try to get Jimmy to pick up another one. But that's 2 tough shots in a row by Jason Tatum. But he loves that mid-post turnaround game. He loves to go to that.
Tatum and Brown have combined for 28 points so far. Boston 46, Miami 39. 6:31 to go in the first half. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
The Dave app wants to change the way you bank, starting with putting more money in your pocket. Get up to $500 instantly with an extra cash advance. You can even earn more money with a side hustle. Dave also helps you level up your cash with ways to budget, set goals, and save. It's the banking app for smarter money moves. Download the Dave app now or go to dave.com. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve. Member FDIC.
MLB fans, when you need tickets to catch your favorite team live all season long, Ticketmaster's got them. As the world's largest ticket marketplace, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of seats available and at competitive prices, so you never have to worry about missing a game. Take yourself out to the ballpark this season and get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/MLB. That's Ticketmaster.com/MLB.
The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
Tyrese Maxey now joining us courtside. It was a big-time win, man. We let the game kind of slip away from us, but to be resilient like that and everybody make plays down the stretch, that was big time.
Stephen Curry with us here on ESPN Radio. Honestly, it's hard for a lot of guys on our team because they're capable of contributing, but sometimes the opportunity isn't always there. But the message is stay ready.
Josh Hart is joining us.
6 years I've been waiting to get into the playoffs, man. So I'm not taking it for granted. I'm playing as long as I can, every second I can, and I'm just taking it all in.
Visiting with D'Angelo Russell, I'm a product of my environment. Honestly, I got to brush shoulders with some of the greats and just learned a lot of things from being in their system and their organization.
Klay Thompson joining us.
I can hear how tired you are, brother.
Oh, PJ, I feel great.
We got another quarter in him.
Great. I don't know about all that.
The biggest names in sports come here, and it all starts weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, and continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
Kevin Richard with you inside our Granger studio. The Milwaukee Bucks, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, have landed on Adrian Griffin, a defensive-minded coach and assisted with Toronto to become the Bucks' new head coach. On the AutoZone halftime report, how does a defensive-minded coach work with Giannis Antetokounmpo? Plus, what would you do with 9 days off? I'm not telling you because I want to make sure I have a job next week. We'll find out what Denver's doing with 9 days off. Back to Dave Pash, Doris Burke, and Roscoe Woode.
Will game one be in Denver next Thursday, Kevin, or will it be in Boston? Obviously, the Celtics have to win tonight. Game 7 would be Monday. If they win tonight, they have to keep playing the defense on Jimmy Butler that they've been doing for the first quarter and a half.
So Jimmy Butler has taken 6 shots. All 6 have been contested. And how about this, Dave? 6 different Boston Celtics have contested his shot. Think Jimmy's part of the defensive game plan for the Boston Celtics? And I'm going to just say one more thing. Kevin Winter with 9 days off is dangerous. Don't let that happen.
Meanwhile, Jason Tatum with 17 points, the lead all scorers. Boston 46, Miami 39, 6:25 to play in the first half. Miami leads the series 3-2. Left side of the front court, Vincent pass hit the chest of Jaylen Brown in the middle of the lane and pinballs back out to Vincent somehow. Now Vincent driving in the lane, hangs and gets the layup off glass. Acrobatic move and finish by Vincent.
Actually had to bring the ball down to his waist and back up. I wouldn't want to make my living making tough shots like that.
He has 8 points, gets Miami back within 5 at the midway point of the second quarter. White on the right side of 3, no good. Boston 3 of 11, rebounded by Miami. Boston 0 for 3 from 3 in the second quarter. Butler right side, drawing Horford down on the switch. Backs up to the three-point line. Now driving into the lane. Fires to Martin on the left side. Martin guarded by Smart. Martin into the corner. Shot clock at 5. Up top, Butler on the left. Hand off Robinson. Driving. Robinson floater from 15. No good. Rebound by Horford. 46-41 Boston. 5:25 to go in the half. Tatum up top. Drives middle of the lane. Goes to the right-hand layup and scores again.
He went right through 4 different Miami defenders from 15 feet. That can't happen.
Tatum has 19. Boston back up 7. Front court to our right is Vincent. Lob pass to Butler on the right wing. Left-hand dribble, spins to his right on the baseline. Hangs, missed the shot. Might have been blocked by Butler and out of bounds off. Or might have been blocked by Tatum rather than Butler touched it last. Baseline right.
Just excellent defense. Jimmy Butler's not getting room to breathe. He thinks he's got one defender beat, and then somebody else is going to come over and challenge. That time it was Jason Tatum. But it was absolutely looked like it was hit off the hands of Jimmy Butler.
5 minutes to go. First half, Boston 48, Miami 41. Jason Tatum in the backcourt, picked up by Caleb Martin at the midcourt line. Tatum 5 of 8 from the floor, 9 of 9 at the foul line. Tatum stops and fires left wing for Jaylen Brown. At the three-point line, he's going to hoist it from there. It's no good. Ball pinballs to the far side to Marcus Smart. Kept alive by Jaylen Brown. Now on the left wing is Tatum. Splits two defenders, drives, lobs, and thrown down with one hand by Robert Williams. What a pass by Tatum, and the finish by Williams.
Can't handle him off the drive. You're thinking he's thinking score. He sees Robert right underneath the cup.
9-point lead for Boston underneath the basket. Butler stripped, got it knocked away by Tatum. Into the hands of Smart. Now White, front court left. Thought about the three, skips to Tatum. On the right side, he'll drive, gets down the middle of the paint and scores again. The lead is 11 and a timeout by Miami.
Jason Tatum absolutely refuses to settle for anything other than touching the paint. He is on the catch, making decisive moves, whether it's to score himself or to assist for his teammates. What a brilliant half of basketball.
A 10-2 Boston run. If you're Joe Mazzulla, this is what you want out of your star player. In a potential elimination game again, to not settle. As you said, Doris, he's getting to the line. He's not forcing anything. He's been able to get past his man a couple times and get down the middle of the lane.
He's 25 years of age. And yes, he's been to multiple conference finals. But when you think about guys who've won championships, Paul Pierce was 30 years old. Steph Curry, LeBron James, these guys were in their late 20s. And there's been a lot of pressure and responsibility on both Jays, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown got him off to a brilliant start. Now Jason Tatum is cooking. What a start for the Boston Celtics.
Meanwhile, Miami has gone cold, missing 8 of its last 9 shots. We will say this. Miami has had a run in just about every playoff game, with the exception of the last 2. There was no surge in the second half of the Game 4 loss here. They had nothing in the Game 5 defeat. They got down big early and kind of hung around, but you never got the sense that they fought their way back into Game 5. Will we finally get that push here tonight from Miami? There's 4:15 left in the half.
Jason Tatum, who is 6 for 9 overall, is 3 for 3 against Jimmy Butler. And again, Jimmy is trying to finish this half with 2 fouls and not pick up that third. There's 4:15 to play. I can't imagine Spo's lifting him in any way, shape, or form in the final 4:15.
He has 4 assists, but he's 1 for 7 from the floor. He'll bring it up the court, bounce it to Bam in the high post left. Now Strus, wide open 3 straight away. It's good. Bad defense again from Boston.
And Derek White and Jason Tatum hang their heads. Why this miscommunication on those threes, I have no idea.
Miami staying in the game with a 3 ball, 8 of 13 from behind the arc. Tatum left side of the front court, into the paint. Push shot off the back rim and in. Tatum's got 23. Lead back to 10 for the Celtics, 54-44 with 3.5 to go. Right side, Vincent, drive, stops with the foul line, takes the jump shot. Off the front rim, no. Batted in the air by Butler. It wouldn't go in the basket. And then Bam Adebayo hits the deck as he gets the rebound and calls it timeout. Again, the Celtics standing around while Miami hustles to get the offensive rebound.
I think they thought Bam Adebayo traveled with the basketball. But nonetheless, they've got to burn a timeout here.
But Doris, where would Miami be without made threes and hustle on the offensive glass?
Well, it's who they are, right? I mean, in this series, the 3 has been such a significant driver of winning. And Jimmy Butler goes down. Bam lands on his right knee, and Jimmy grabs it and looks like he's in excruciating pain.
Both guys are up and walk to the Miami bench, but we'll keep an eye on that for Butler. 3:27 to go in the first half. Can Boston keep the foot on the accelerator here to close out the half? 3:27 left. Tatum with 23. Jaylen Brown with 11. He had 10 in the first quarter. Caleb Martin has not scored in the second quarter after going for 12 in the first. It's been Vincent and Strus hitting threes to keep Miami in the game.
And the number of open threes is what's striking to me. And you've seen a couple of guys from Boston hang their heads. I imagine this is the beauty of playing in the NBA. That video will be pulled up right in the middle of the locker room at the half. They'll make their adjustments from a strategy standpoint. But again, you know, Jimmy Butler is 1 for 8, and yet you are within 10. And, you know, we've been waiting for a Jimmy Butler explosion. We've seen him come out in a particular half, but I'm wondering how that knee is. He comes onto the floor shaking his head a little bit.
In Game 3, Miami hit 19 threes. They had 17 the last 2 games. 8 in Game 4, 9 in Game 5, and they have 8 already in Game 6. The only basket that Jimmy Butler has is a three-pointer, and it came early on. It might have been his first shot of the game.
How about the Heat are 6 for 21 in the paint? Goes back to what you said. Where would they be without the three?
Miami ball, pass in the lane for Martin. Out to Bam Adebayo, right elbow, jump shot is up, front rim no. Long rebound, Vincent. Offensive rebound again for the Heat. Vincent on the left wing, wide open, pulls the trigger, drills another three. That's the third for Vincent.
Always off the offensive rebound. You're scrambling defensively. If you don't identify and close quickly, another open three.
7-point lead, 3 minutes to go in the first half. Tatum trying to answer left side. Three is no good. Offensive rebound, Williams, and a loose ball foul called on Miami, and they're over the limit. That'll send Williams to the line. Let's see who they call it on. It's going to be on Martin.
And Robert Williams seems to be grabbing his hand. He was involved in that contact. Caleb Martin absolutely fouled him. He was holding on to him. But immediately after some contact by Gabe Vincent, Robert Williams grabs his left hand.
His non-shooting hand. He's wiggling his fingers on his left hand as he gets ready for his first free throw. It's a line drive, and it's no good.
And these are the minutes, right? The skirmishes that coaches talk about. Different terminology from Spo and Joe. But the Boston Celtics feel like they've been in command of the second quarter in particular. But you got 2:54 to change the narrative before you go into the locker room. And Spo talks to his guys about this.
And Miami has scored 18 more points than Boston on threes. Boston's 3 of 13. Miami's 9 of 14. Second foul shot good from Williams. It's 55-47 Celtics. 2:54 to go in the first half. Let's see how the Heat close this quarter. Bam Adebayo, high post right, drives, lost the ball in the middle of the lane. It's turned over. Celtics have it. Brown driving into Strus, gives it up underneath the basket. Wild shot by Smart, and they're going to wave it off and say Jaylen Brown committed an offensive foul, and it's 3 on him.
Joe Mazzulla's looking to his back bench, doesn't seem to be looking to challenge it. His staff is looking at it. I thought it was a block, but they don't challenge. Ball is in play.
It's the second team foul, but third personal on Jaylen Brown. Butler top of the key. Miami down 8, 2.5 to go. Butler drives left of the lane. Gets to the basket and scores. Just his second field goal.
Robert Williams had to close on Jimmy Butler. Robert Williams is in pain in that left hand. He's slow up the floor. I think his mind's on that.
Derek White at the scorer's table. The lead is down to 6 for Boston. 55-49. It was 11. Brown drives right of the lane. Missed the layup. Put back no good. Miami ball with 2 minutes to go. Here come the Heat. Into the front court to our right is Vincent. Left-hand dribble down the middle of the lane. And they're going to wave off the basket and say a foul on the drive on Marcus Smart. That's the first on Smart.
So this is exactly what you hope for. I mean, Jimmy Butler has yet to really get started. He did have that last drive, but you're right there.
Derek White checks in. Robert Williams staying in the game right now. They're going to take him out.
I think they're going to take him out because Grant Williams is coming in. He's too preoccupied with that left hand, wrist, whatever he's holding right now. I think he's going to go straight back to the locker room. In fact, he is.
Saw Jaylen Brown hurt his left wrist earlier. Williams now for Boston. Miami ball, 1:58 to go. Boston by 6. Left wing, Jimmy Butler drives. Middle of the lane, goes up, hangs, and has it rejected by Tatum, and they're going to call a foul on Jason Tatum. It's only his first. I don't know that Joe Mazzulla would use a challenge here in this situation.
He's saying he got him with a hip check. Joe Mazzulla giving Josh Tiven the business. It wasn't Josh. Was it Josh who had the call? There's contact there.
Yeah.
That's an easy call. We get to see the replay here on TV, folks. Easy call.
Yep, hip to hip. So definitely got him with the body.
And the key is, and I think what Jaylen was protesting, the key is the hip to hip happened before the release of the ball. If it were vice versa, because Jason got the ball, but hip to hip happened first.
First free throw good for Butler. He's got 8 points. It's down to 5, 55-50. It was an 11-point lead just about a minute and a half ago. 1:52 to go here in the first half.
Losing the skirmish. Joe Mazzulla has one assistant track the final 4 minutes of every quarter because he believes that closing quarters is crucial to winning in the NBA. Boston not shutting this with authority.
Second free throw good. 4-point game. Boston has not made a 3 in the second quarter. They had 3 in the first quarter. 55-51. Celtics lead. A minute 40 to go in the half. Tatum left side about 35 feet away from the basket. Now drives into the lane. Tatum scoop shot. No. Rebound by Martin. Numbers for the Heat left to right. Martin into the front court. Drives right at Grant Williams. Bank shot. No. But a foul is called on Boston. Free throws coming up for Martin.
Boy, a lot of whistles against the Boston Celtics right now. Aggressive drives, but they are not getting a whistle.
Listen to the crowd, too, now. We talked about it. Miami had no run in the second half of Game 4. We never saw a spurt in Game 5, but they now are finally in the groove here. Back within 4, and Martin at the line looking for his first points of the quarter after 12 in the first. The free throw is good. Miami is 7 of 9 at the line.
Starting to close the gap, Dave. There was a big advantage. Jason Tatum by himself is 9 for 9. Celtics 12 for 14. But free throw number 10 coming here.
With 1:28 to go in the half, 55-52 Boston. Martin ready for the second free throw. Bends the knees, launches, and it's good. And so it's a 2-point game. 1:25 to go in the half. Again, it was an 11-point lead just 2 minutes ago. Boston ball front court to our left, Jason Tatum. On the right side at the hash mark, goes up for a shot and a foul. They're going to say it's that old rip-through move. But even though it's not in the act of shooting, it's free throws. The difference is if it were a shooting foul, it'd be 3. But because it's a rip-through move and they're in the penalty, it's 2 shots for Tatum as Martin picks up a second foul.
Yeah, so Tatum, like most good NBA players, Martin's arm, his left arm was extended into the airspace of Jason. Well, you know it's bonus time. You have to be more disciplined if you're Caleb. This guy is a brilliant free throw shooter. It's your hands straight up in the air, not into the body space of the opponent, because then you're just asking for trouble.
Tatum hit the first free throw, 10 for 10, 24 points. 3-point lead for Boston, 1:13 to go in the half. Second foul shot is good. He's made all 11. Lead back to 4 for the Celtics. Caleb Martin didn't like Grant Williams being in his airspace as he went to inbound the ball, kind of shoved him out of the way. Vincent playing with that bad ankle. He's 3 for 3 from 3. He's got the ball on the right wing, takes another 3, and comes up short this time. Rebound by Smart.
They dodged a bullet. Lack of communication between Tatum and White. They almost gave up an open shot.
Tatum right side, double. Fires to the right corner. Horford puts up a 3. No good. Rebound by Martin. 45 seconds to go in the half. Boston 57, Miami 53. Martin right side. Backs up. Hits Butler top of the key. Butler driving. Double team. Fires right corner. Vincent puts it on the floor. Drives. Hangs. Missed the shot. And it's controlled by Horford. 30 seconds to go. About an 8-second difference in the game and shot clocks here at the end of the half. Celtics up 4. Tatum at the Heat logo, about 40 feet away from the basket. Has a screen to his right. Now Strus has Tatum on the switch. Left 3-point line. Tatum, step back 3. No good. Rebound Miami with 8 seconds to go. Martin racing up the floor left to right. Hand off for Bam at the high post right. Shot clock at 2. Bam's got a fire. Does from the top of the key. No good at the buzzer. And Boston will take a 4-point lead to the locker room.
So if you're the Boston Celtics, you're on the road. Your back's against the wall as it has been for the last 2 plus now 3 games. And you've given up a lot of threes, 9 for 15, but you are on the road, positioned to compete in the second half to stay alive.
But again, if you're Miami, you shoot 39% from the floor as well as you did from 3, as you just mentioned. That means you weren't good in the paint, but they're in the game. They're only down 4. Jimmy Butler's just 2 for 10. And at the end of the first half, the Celtics 57, Miami 53. Boston trying to force a game 7. We'll send it out to Kevin Winter in the studio in the AutoZone halftime report.
Dave Doors and Raj, free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. To get in the zone, AutoZone. Many said it would feel like a game 7 tonight, especially for the Miami Heat. It certainly has that feel. Tightly contested, good run by Miami after they were down 11. They had a 10-3 spurt. It is a 57-53 advantage for the Boston Celtics here in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Miami with the win would go to the NBA Finals. Boston with the win would set up a Game 7 back in Boston on a Monday night. Up next on the AutoZone halftime report, how will a defensive-minded coach fit in with Giannis Antetokounmpo? The news of Adrian Griffin being hired as the Milwaukee Bucks head coach from our NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. Plus, what have the Denver Nuggets been doing to keep themselves occupied with 9 days off between the last time they'd played a game and taking out the Lakers before Thursday's game 1 of the finals? At the half in Miami in game 6, it is Boston 57, Miami 53. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio.
I'm Zoe. I own Muck and Brass, which is an upcycling homewares business, and this is why I switched to Shopify. One of my biggest challenges was the lack of support when I really needed it, and it would always slow down the momentum of my business. With Shopify, I could get hold of a real person quickly, and not only would they solve a problem I had, they'd also give me the tools to feel empowered moving forward. I felt like I didn't even know who my customers were. Thanks to Shopify analytic tools, I feel more confident with the products I'm creating, and the sales are actually reflecting that. With Shopify's theme editor, I can easily share elements of who I am in my shop and have full control of how my brand is represented. I spent nearly 7 years on other platforms, and I'm kicking myself for not making the switch earlier. Not only do I know my customers better, but they know me better as well. Start your new journey today on Shopify.
Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/play. That's shopify.com/play. Go to shopify.com/play to take your business to the next level today.
The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio. After surviving their second straight must-win, the Celtics face yet another must-win, this time in Game 6. Will they survive, or will the Heat finally put them away and advance to the NBA Finals?
Beats the buzzer with a 3.
Game 6 of the Celtics and Heat, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on Sirius XM Channel 80. ESPN's Cassidy Harberth.
I would like to see a Philippine-born player in the NBA. I mean, the Philippines are obsessed with the NBA. More than 62% of Filipinos consider them avid NBA fans. The NBA is the number one sport in the Philippines. And so to have one of their own play in the NBA would be a dream come true. And as someone who covers the NBA, it would be a dream come true to one day interview that Filipino. So that is the hope. The odds are against the Filipinos because we're small in stature, but we got big heart and we got grit. So that is definitely a dream of mine.
ESPN Radio, celebrating and amplifying the stories of Asian American, Pacific Islander, and Asian athletes and sports figures. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Tatum splits 2 defenders, drives, lobs, and thrown down with one hand by Robert Williams. What a pass by Tatum and the finish by Williams.
Can't handle him off the drive. You're thinking he's thinking score. He sees Robert right underneath the cup.
Robert Williams, the one-hand tomahawk and the pass from Jason Tatum. Our first half on the AutoZone halftime report, brought to you by the makers of 5-Hour Energy. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. That was part of a 10-2 Boston spurt that put them up 11. Miami closed that second quarter on a 12-5 run. It's 57-53. Celtics over the Heat. We'll get you back to Kaseya Center for the second half coming up. The news around the NBA today off the court was from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. The Milwaukee Bucks are hiring Toronto Raptors assistant Adrian Griffin as the franchise's next head coach. It'll be his first ever head coaching job. Griffin spent the last 4 years as Nick Nurse's top assistant with the Toronto Raptors, and he comes with the reputation of being a high-level defensive coach, which begs the question for Milwaukee on that side, well, how's he going to gel with Giannis Antetokounmpo? ESPN NBA analyst and analytics expert Andre Stelling.
I think it's understanding and credibility, right? Griffin has been there as a player at every level because he was on that Mavs team that went to the finals. And then as a coach at every level, being, the assistant coach on the team that's won a championship, he can speak to Giannis. And, oh, by the way, they say that all 3 of the finalists for the job met with Giannis before the decision was made. Okay. So he can speak to Giannis, and more importantly, he can speak to the other players on the team as well and say, okay, if you guys trust what I say, do what I tell you to do, I can get you to where you need to go. And I think he can speak that with some bass in his voice in a way that maybe some other candidates that didn't play or that don't have the same history and pedigree that he has would be able to communicate as effectively.
ESPN NBA analyst Andre Snelling's on ESPN Radio's primetime earlier tonight. So this now leaves the Phoenix Suns, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Toronto Raptors, and the Detroit Pistons as teams that still need a head coach. Kevin Winter with you on the AutoZone Halftime Report. Back here to the NBA playoffs, and a team that's in the NBA Finals is the Denver Nuggets. They've been there since Monday. Michael Malone, the head coach of the Nuggets, and how to keep his team in rhythm.
Well, it's impossible to keep your rhythm if you're not playing games. I mean, you can do whatever you want in practice, but there's no way you can replicate playing an NBA playoff game. For us, my biggest concern is the rhythm, as you mentioned, but more importantly, conditioning. You know, you're playing every other day for so long, and now all of a sudden you have a 8, 9, 10-day break, whatever it is. So I wanted to make sure we got up and down, conditioned. The energy in the gym was great, but it's really hard to keep your rhythm when you're not playing NBA games. But we'll do everything we can to try to keep the rhythm as best as possible.
Michael Malone, the head coach of the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets have resumed workouts in Denver. They will either host Game 1 of the NBA Finals next Thursday night, or they will be on the road in Boston for Game 1. Should the Celtics rally, if Miami is the representative from the East, it will be Denver with the number 1 seed or the home court advantage in the NBA Finals. Every game of the NBA Finals exclusively on ABC television and heard exclusively here on ESPN Radio beginning Thursday, June 1st. Up next on the AutoZone Halftime Report, we'll get you set for the second half of Game 6. Boston leading Miami by 4. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio. It's a showdown in the National League East.
Kyle Schwarber, and this place is going bananas.
Kyle Schwarber and the Philadelphia Phillies begin a 10-game road trip in Atlanta when they go head-to-head against the NL East leading Braves. The Philadelphia Phillies at the Atlanta Braves. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on your smart speaker.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is DC and RC. I'm Daniel Cormier, former UFC 2 Division champion.
And I'm RC, man, Ryan Clark. I'm a Super Bowl champ, but for now, I'm tapping in, not out with DC, because DC and RC is ready to roll.
Be sure to follow our new podcast where we're going to talk mixed martial arts, sports, we're going to talk life, maybe soap operas. All the while, we'll be having fun.
That's DC and RC. Follow wherever you listen to your podcast.
Long before there was reality TV shows, there was American Gladiators.
We sold out everywhere we went. No one cares if you're sore. No one cares if you're sick.
These games were not safe for humans to play.
It was a given that they were all on steroids.
They always wanted impact.
Was it worth the punishment that their bodies were taking?
30 for 30 presents the American Gladiators documentary, Part 1, Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN, streaming same night on ESPN+.
Chris Canty and Chris Carlin are Canty and Carlin.
Mike Tannenbaum, ESPN NFL front office insider. All right, Mike, you've run organizations. I've been socially awkward. Let's just get right to it. Let's just get right to it. No. This morning, the guy who basically is in charge of us being on the air, it's kind of Mike. For 3 months, I thought his name was Con. You know, when you get told that, you just feel like the biggest dumbass. There's even something more awkward. When I first got to college and you're hanging out with somebody, now you're like too close. They think you know the name and you don't. And then you're in a situation where you have to introduce them. Hey, big guy, this is Chris.
I've actually been on the other side of that. Stephen A. goes on this long soliloquy about how great of a football analyst I was. And he says, now I want to introduce you guys to Super Bowl champion, Mr. Greg Canty. Thanks, Stephen A.
And I remember my man Greg Canty talking this morning on radio. He would say, once a teammate, always a teammate. I agree with that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
It's finals time.
where what happens next lives on forever, where history awaits. And seconds last for eternity. This time is for all time. The NBA Finals, presented by YouTube TV, begins June 1st on ABC.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio. It's a showdown in the National League East.
Kyle Schwarber, and this place is going bananas.
Kyle Schwarber and the Philadelphia Phillies begin a 10-game road trip in Atlanta when they go head-to-head against the NL East leading Braves. The Philadelphia Phillies at the Atlanta Braves. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on your smart speaker. You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
White front court left. Thought about the three. Skips to Tatum on the right side. He'll drive. Gets down the middle of the paint and scores again. The lead is 11 and a timeout by Miami.
Largest lead for Boston in the first half. Tatum with 25. However, Miami would respond on a 12-5 closing kick. It's a 4-point game. Our first half recap brought to you by the makers of 5-Hour Energy. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. 57-53. Second half from the Kaseya Center is next. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio.
Have you seen the cost of eggs lately? With these prices, we'd barely be scraping by if it weren't for Dave. It's the banking app that advances us up to $500 instantly. There's no interest, late fees, or credit checks. No joke. You can get extra cash for anything your family needs. Download the Dave app now or go to dave.com. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve. Member FDIC.
MLB fans, when you need tickets to catch your favorite team live all season long, Ticketmaster's got them. As the world's largest ticket marketplace, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of seats available and at competitive prices, so you never have to worry about missing a game. Take yourself out to the ballpark this season and get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/MLB. That's Ticketmaster.com/MLB.
Greeny.
LeBron is definitely not retiring. Definitely not. Never listen to what a player says about his future in the frustrated moments after a defeat that ends his season.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
$1 million question. Traveled, obviously, last week. We did. How? Is there a signal or is there something politely to say to somebody at the airport you don't want to talk to them?
Check out the SB Pod with Scott Van Pelt wherever you get your podcasts.
Canty and Carlin.
Daniel Rossini, ESPN NFL reporter, joining us. Our first question comes from our producer, Cam. Dear Diana, I am headed to Turks and Caicos. And a little birdie told me that you were just there. What would you recommend?
Cam, you are going to love it. So there's a couple quotes that you can go on, but don't be deceived if it just says snorkeling, because that's not what it is. They're like basically camouflaging what it really truly is, which is a booze cruise. So do not attempt, don't think you're going out there to see dolphins. Like you're not seeing any of that. You're going to see
You're going out there to see something.
You're going to see stuff. It's just, it's mermaids without tails. Here's what you have to also be very cautious of in general. Rum punch, right? It's always like, jungle juice. Guys, we all had that in college, right?
Yeah.
For whatever reason on the island, it's spiked even more and tastes even better. So you have to be really careful. They catch up to
So
you.
the rum will punch you in your face.
The rum will punch you in your face.
Canty and Carlin. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on Sirius XM Channel 80. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
I'm Kevin Winter. That'll do it for us on the AutoZone halftime report. A couple of ways you can look at this game. 57-53, Boston by 4 over Miami. Jimmy Butler only 2 of 10 for 9 points, yet Miami is down 4. But did you know, brought to you by Geico, whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Go to geico.com today. The Celtics did not make a three-pointer in the second quarter. The first time that's happened since March 3rd against the Nets. And Boston going 0 for 7 from 3 in the second. Did you know that is their most three-point field goal attempts without a make in a quarter all season? And yet they lead by 4. We have 24 minutes to figure out whether Miami's going to Denver or we're all going to Boston for Game 7. 57-53. Back to Kaseya Center in South Florida for the start of the second half with Ross going to winning in Doris Burke. Here's Dave Pash.
Hey, Kevin, you mentioned that there are two different ways to look at this. I'm looking at it one way. Doris is looking at it the other. I'm sitting here thinking, wow, if I'm Miami, I'm feeling pretty good. The Heat were terrible inside the three-point line, but they're only down 4.
And if I'm the Boston Celtics, I've been in desperation mode for now third straight game. I'm on the road. I'm +4. My 3 game hasn't started working, but I am guarding the hell out of both Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Jimmy Butler's 1 for 7 in the paint. Those two guys are a combined 4 for 16. And yes, they've let other guys get loose from 3. Where would the Miami Heat be without Caleb Martin in the first and Gabe Vincent in the second? You're right, Kev. You could look at it a couple different ways, and we clearly are.
Meanwhile, what's interesting, and Doris just pointed this out off air, Haywood Highsmith, who played the final 3 quarters, he did not play in the first half at all. Meanwhile, Malcolm Brogdon is out. We weren't sure if Joe Mazzulla would go 7 deep or more, and he did put Sam Hauser in for 2 minutes. So Boston leading 57-53. Will the Celtics force a Game 7 Monday night at TD Garden, or will the Miami Heat come back, win this game, and move on to the NBA Finals starting next Thursday in Denver? It'll be Boston ball to start the second half. We're told Robert Williams III is okay, even though he went back to the locker room holding his left hand. Tatum brings the ball across the timeline. Bounce pass to Horford right side, almost turned it over. White on the right wing, drives into the lane, hangs in the air, missed the shot, and it's rebounded by Strus. Ahead to Butler in the front court. Butler on the right wing, fires into the lane. Now a kick out, Strus, left corner, a 3. It's around and out. The tip is good, though, by Bam Adebayo.
The second chance opportunities, number of offensive rebounds in that first half by Miami. They got to start to capitalize on them. Bam does there.
57-55 Boston. Celtics led by 11 late second quarter. Bounce pass to the low post left for Jaylen Brown. Works into the lane and scores with the right hand plus a foul. It'll be a 3-point chance here for Jaylen Brown, who we did not really talk about in the second quarter, but had the hot hand in the first quarter.
I thought he got away with a left arm hook of that defender, but he'll nonetheless go to the line for an N1 possibility. Just to follow up on the Celtics and their 3-point shooting. In that first half, they were 0 for 8 on contested threes. And I said to you in the break, Dave, I thought they took too many rushed, contested shots. I think Eric Spoelstra is going to challenge this. I really do. I wonder if this is going to become an offensive foul.
Right now, it's on Caleb Martin, would be his third personal, and it is a coach's challenge with 11:19 to go in the third. For now, Boston's up 4, 59-55. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Sunday.
Welcome to the Monaco Grand Prix.
Formula One takes to the streets.
The Street Fighter's done it again. King of the Streets.
As the rock stars of racing return to their crown jewel.
Check out you for Monaco.
The Formula One Monaco Grand Prix. Coverage begins Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on ABC and ESPN+. ESPN coverage presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
I personally don't think LeBron James is going to retire. One of the things I think he really wants to do is play with his son, Bronny. You can just tell the determination in his voice that he wants to be out there with his son at some point, playing against him, those two guys matching up against one another or being on the same roster. It is something that LeBron James wants to do and accomplish that no one has ever did in the NBA.
Fitz and Harry, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
As much as I give Michael Jordan grief at times for the fact that he didn't play particularly well compared to the standard when he came back for the Wizards, let's not get it twisted. Every arena he stepped in sold out. LeBron could create a circus of the biggest energy you've ever seen in the NBA because he's playing with his son on a year's rest where his body feels better than everybody. If you're LeBron and your body hurts right now, your foot hurts, you can afford the best trainers. You can, frankly, frankly, if you want to pay a bunch of players to come help you work out every day, and you can have people working on your body to get you in the best shape so that when you come back after a year, you're in the best physical shape you've been in ages, and now you can have a farewell tour while you play with Bronny. And we've gotten away from LeBron for a year, so there's no LeBron fatigue. It's the ultimate farewell tour concept in my mind.
Vince and Harry, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
In the Western Conference Final, the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights will face off. One team looking to add a second cup. The other searching for their first.
Vegas finds the back of the net.
Who will prevail? The Western Conference Final, Stars Golden Knights on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ABC.
The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio. After surviving their second straight must-win, the Celtics face yet another must-win, this time in Game 6. Will they survive, or will the Heat finally put them away and advance to the NBA Finals? Game 6 of the Celtics and Heat, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on Sirius XM Channel 80.
Kevin Winter with you in our Granger studio. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Kevin Winter with you in our studio. Before we go back to Dave Pash, Doris Burke, I can tell you the ruling has been successful. It's a successful challenge, but there's a no call. They'll explain in a moment. Roscoe and Winnie, back to you.
Guys, the message at halftime from the Heat, it's a 4-point game and so many things didn't go our way. So they want to hold on to that into the second half. Also, update, Jimmy Butler's knee is fine. Remember when Bam Adebayo landed on him? They're going to keep going to him, and the Heat trust that he'll come through big.
And meanwhile, Roz, going back to the call, I don't know that I've ever seen that, where you say it's not a defensive foul and it's not an offensive foul, so it's a no call, but count the basket.
Massive both ways, okay? Because it's not the fourth foul on Jaylen Brown, but it's also not a timeout cost to you by Eric Spoelstra, because he would have been down to 2 with a long way to go in this game.
Boston 59, Miami 55. Opening minute of the third quarter. Bam Adebayo bringing it into the front court to our left. Picked up by Al Horford at the head of the circle. Finds Gabe Vincent left wing. Thought about the three, but Marcus Smart's there. So he drives, stumbles, loses the ball, but they're going to call a foul on Smart.
I got to be honest, I disagree with this entirely. I do not think this is a good call. Marcus is shaking his head. I mean, they're calling this in live action. That was a driver who put his head down. Yes, there was a little bit of contact, but not enough to me to make that a foul call.
Second on Smart. First on Boston here in the third quarter.
Spoelstra is still going at James Williams about that lack of a hook by Jaylen Brown.
Bam Adebayo catches the inbound pass. Dribble handoff for Strus at the top of the key. Moves to his left, keeps the dribble, bounces to Bam. Got it stripped by Horford, and a forced turnover by Boston. White into the front court to Tatum up top, drives into the lane, lost the ball out of bounds, turns it over, baseline right.
I'm going to go back to the defensive play by Al, who was playing 2 guys in the pick and roll. The ability to stop that driver and strip Bam, that was a big play.
10:45 to go, third quarter, still a 4-point lead for Boston, 59-55. Butler right side, 30 feet away. Hands off for Strus, they double him on the far side, and he lost the ball off his foot, and it goes out of bounds. They're going to say last touch by the Celtics, 7 to shoot for Miami.
They are everybody's disputing every call right now.
Butler will inbound. Bam Adebayo, high post right, backdoor cut, Jimmy Butler. Bam keeps the dribble, now shoots an 18-footer from straight away. It's no good and rebounded by Tatum.
Didn't have a choice. 3 seconds on the shot clock. He had to go.
Derek White on the front court on the right side. 10:15 to go, third quarter, 59-55 Celtics. White hands off for Jaylen Brown on the top of the key. He'll drive middle of the lane, get caught in the air. Gets it out to Tatum, right wing, puts it up from there. The three won't fall. Rebound Jaylen Brown. And then a turnover stolen by Strus. Ahead to Butler in the front court left side. Drives it, Derek White. And he lost the ball, but then it hit White, who was out of bounds. Jimmy Butler thought he was fouled, hung in the air, tried to draw contact, but there wasn't any.
You make a mistake off the offensive rebound right there. You had a man wide open and Derek White. You make the wrong choice, and it turns into this, a possession for Miami.
Boston 3 for 16 from three. Miami is 9 for 16. That's keeping the Heat in the game. Butler on the right baseline now drives to his left hand. Got stripped, but a foul is called here. Reach and foul.
This should be on the pass. Jimmy's going to try to go to the line and say he was shooting, but he was making a pass. This will be an interesting call. Looks like they might give him two. No, they're going to give it side out. It should be side out.
Al Horford picks up his first, second team foul.
That's big. You got 2 team fouls already, Dave.
Feels like we've been on the air here in the second half for 30 minutes, only 2 minutes into the third quarter. Gabe Vincent at the top of the key, drives, stumbles, and they're going to call another Boston foul.
I think that's on Jalen. He tripped him, so that's going to be 4. So not only do you have 3 team fouls, but you've got 4 on Jalen Brown. Grant Williams is immediately up off the bench. You lose, obviously, a guy who can put it on the deck with great efficiency, an excellent defensive player. It's a big, big point right now for the Boston Celtics.
And you got Malcolm Brogdon, the 6th man of the year in street clothes because of that arm injury. So Miami ball, 9:49 to go in the third. It's still 59-55 Celtics. Inbound to Bam Adebayo, right side. Handoff for Vincent. He'll put up a 3 straight away. No good. He was wide open too, but couldn't make it. Rebound Tatum.
Grant Williams and Al Horford indecisive again at a point where there should be communication.
Tatum, 25 points. He's 0 for 5 from 3. Fires left corner. Smart takes the 3 after a step back, and it's good. Their first 3 since the first quarter.
He's been the most efficient guy. Marcus is right now 3 for 5 for 12 points.
62-55. 3 minutes into the third. Boston in front. Vincent on the left side. Now dribbles middle of the lane. Caught in the air. Out to Strus. He'll put it on the deck. Gets in traffic and out of control, but he's fouled. Missed the shot, but
Boston's going to be on the next personal foul in the bonus. They now have 14 fouls. Miami just relentlessly attacking.
That's on Smart. That's 3. So you got Brown with 4, Smart with 3, Strus at the line for 2. Miami still hasn't committed a team foul. 4 on Boston, as you said. 9:12 remaining here in the third.
See, in this instance for the Miami Heat, as Strus gets the first, they might switch into his zone and protect their players. It's not something Boston has gone to a ton, and they're going to have to trust that their players make really good decisions. But if you're Miami, you're going right at Marcus Smart every single time.
No question. Second free throw good for Strus. We got them both. 62-57 Boston. 9 minutes to go, third quarter. Miami is 10 for 12 at the line. Derek White 40 feet away, straight away. Moves to his right, hits Smart on the right wing. Skip pass to the left corner. They work it around the perimeter to the left wing. Horford's 3 is no good. It's rebounded by Adebayo. Horford 0 for 2 from 3. Right side, Martin in the front court. 8.5 to go. Miami down 5. Butler right baseline facing up. Spins to his right. Pump fake. And pass underneath the Strus. He'll bring it back outside to Martin. Top of the key. Now Martin drives in the lane. Euro step. And another Boston foul. Free throws coming up.
The side step at the end is what got the foul call on Grant Williams. Really smart play by Caleb Martin. But now you're 8:33, and they are in the bonus the rest of the way. And I promise you, Miami's going to do nothing but put the ball on the deck and attack you.
Second foul on Williams. Martin, 14 points, 12 in the first quarter. 2 of 2 at the line so far. 9 rebounds as well. He started the game. His free throw was in and out, though.
Al Horford was 0 for 3 in Game 5 from 3. He's 0 for 2. He's very much been feast or famine. Boston continues to struggle, just 4 for 18 from 3. First half, I thought they were rushing him. If you're Al, I don't love that shot, Dave. You've not shot it well consistently. And again, just keep, when you were creating all those open shots these last couple of games, that ball was flying. You went from good to great shot. You got to get back to it.
You mentioned the 4 threes for Boston. Smart has 3 of them. Derek White has 1, but that's his only basket. Boston ball leading by 4, 8:20 to go. Wide open Williams, corner 3, off the heel, rebound Butler. Boston 4 for 19 from 3. Butler in the front court, driving right of the lane, hangs in the air, has it sent back by Derek White, out of bounds, but great defense that time by White.
The best shot blocking guard in the league. And Derek White does an extraordinary job blocking shots with his left hand.
Butler inbound, Vincent, reverse layup is good. He lost his shoe on the play, and now Boston's got numbers the other way. Smart leaves it for Horford, right corner. Vincent playing with one shoe. He's holding the shoe in his hand, and he commits a foul on Derek White using the shoe to try to strip it. And that'll just be the first team foul. Second personal on Vincent. 7:56 to go in the third, 62-60. This is the closest Miami's been in a long time.
Precarious position for the Boston Celtics. You're going to have to play what I believe is a significant stretch without Jaylen Brown. You're going to have to start finding somebody who can find a rhythm from three. And Marcus Smart's got to play without fouling.
It's amazing. Miami shooting 36% from the floor. So they're 11 of 38 from inside the arc. That is remarkable because they're 9 of 17 from outside the arc. Boston ball. Tatum's got it, hasn't scored here in the third. 25 points. He's at the top of the key, working on Strus between the leg dribble. Shot clock at 5. Step back three from Tatum. No good. They're 4 for 20. Rebound Miami. They can tie or take the lead here. 7.5 to go in the third. The crowd starting to come alive again. Martin with the ball 35 feet away left side. Uses a screen. Now takes a three over Horford left wing. No good. And it's rebounded by Grant Williams.
Boy, excellent weak side checkout. Bam was giving them fits. Grant does a great job defensively. Joe is going to call a timeout here.
So we have 7:24 to go in a very long third period so far. Boston 62, Miami 60. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
I'm Zoe. I own Muck and Brass, which is an upcycling homewares business, and this is why I switched to Shopify. One of my biggest challenges was the lack of support when I really needed it, and it would always slow down the momentum of my business. With Shopify, I could get hold of a real person quickly, and not only would they solve a problem I had, they'd also give me the tools to feel empowered moving forward. I felt like I didn't even know who my customers were. Thanks to Shopify analytic tools, I feel more confident with the products I'm creating, and the sales are actually reflecting that. With Shopify's theme editor, I can easily share elements of who I am in my shop and have full control of how my brand is represented. I spent nearly 7 years on other platforms, and I'm kicking myself for not making the switch earlier. Not only do I know my customers better, but they know me better as well. Start your new journey today on Shopify.
Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/play. That's shopify.com/play. Go to shopify.com/play to take your business to the next level today.
Kevin Hunter with you inside our Granger studio. 7:24 to go in the third quarter. Boston 62, Miami 60. Inside the Numbers brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. The Celtics trying to stave off elimination on the road, looking to do so for the third time this postseason. Only two teams have been able to do it longer. The Suns in 93 and the Rockets in 1995 have had 3 elimination road games in which they've all won. Boston in this quarter is already in the penalty. Miami is shooting free throws throughout. Timeout for Boston. They lead by 2. The Heat have come alive. They're also being kept in it with their 3-point shooting. 9 of 18. Roz Godawede. Before we go to Doris and Dave, first to you.
Thanks, Kevin. I was outside of the Celtics huddle. Joe Mazzulla told his team, hey, we're getting some great looks. The ball movement is setting it up. But he said it's the defensive intensity that's going to keep us on top. We have to defend without fouling. Also, Marcus Smart stepped in to talk to his teammates. He said, stay tough. Let's up our physicality and let's up our pace and do our thing, guys.
Well, at some point, you would imagine Boston would hit a 3. They're 4 for 20. Bam and Butler are a combined 5 for 22. Yet Miami's only down 2. 62-60 Celtics, 7:20 to play, third quarter. Grant Williams with the ball in the front court to our right. Tatum catches now, top of the key. Bounces to Smart, low post right. Spins to his right, off 1 foot. Turnaround jumper, knocks it down.
He has an excellent post game. You will see them go to this at least 2 or 3 times a game, and every time Strus is guarding them, they go right at him.
Smart's got 14, second leading scorer in the game for Boston. Miami ball down 4. Butler right wing, just 2 for 12. He does have 5 assists, going to take a 3 right wing, short. Rebound by White ahead to Horford running the floor. And Horford will take it in for the dunk. Boston up 6 with 6:45 to go. Miami racing back up the court. Right side Martin. He'll shoot it from there. Good on the three.
Late there, if you're Jason Tatum, you're closing out short because you're thinking he might drive it, and he sticks the three right in your eye.
Miami 10 for 20 from three. 66-63 Boston. 6:20 to go, third quarter. Smart left wing. To Horford. They swing it to the right corner for Grant Williams. Now a skip to Smart left side. Sidestep. Three ball up and good from Smart. He's got 4 of the 6 Celtic threes.
Incredible. Just efficient. One dribble. Lift with the shot fake. Pretty play by Marcus.
Front court to our left. Butler has it on the far side of the hash mark. 69-62 Boston. Bam spinning to his right. Middle of the lane. 10-footer is up. No good. They're going to say a foul called on Horford. You can't believe it. Second foul on Horford. Free throws for Bam Adebayo.
Just fouling way too much if you're the Boston Celtics. The reason it feels like this third quarter's been an hour is because of the slow play with the Celtics fouling.
And you heard Roz mention that was a point of emphasis during the last timeout from Joe Mazzulla to his team. One team foul on Miami. Boston has been over the limit now for about 3 minutes. Adebayo at the line, first foul shot, front rim, and it hugs the rim for a second, then drops in. He's 2 for 3 at the line, just 8 points, 3 for 10. Butler's 2 for 13. So somehow Miami can win this without a playoff Jimmy performance. It would be remarkable.
And, if you're the Boston Celtics, you haven't relinquished anything with Jaylen Brown on the bench. So credit Grant Williams for stepping in a big spot and holding his own. You'd look at the box score of Grant and say, well, 0 points, 2 rebounds, 0 for 4 and 0 for 3. But the ability to come in and guard and not have the level of play drastically reduced is huge.
Bam ready for a second free throw. Miami is 12 of 15 as a team. It's on the way, and it's good. He gets both, and it's 69-65. Celtics lead, 5:55 to play, third quarter. Derek White will bring it up the floor, picked up at the midcourt line by Gabe Vincent, just pounding it into the court. Now Marcus Smart left side, he'll rise for 3. Too strong, rebound Vincent. Miami ball right to left, down 4. 5:40 to go, Vincent left side, he'll hoist it. No good, and it's rebounded by Tatum, his 7th board. Ahead to Smart in the front court. Smart, his pass deflected, it goes out of bounds. Baseline right will stay with the Celtics. Robert Williams checking in here now for Boston. Horford will go to the bench.
Marcus knew they had a numbered break. He just rushed the play. Would have been better to hold the dribble, I think, Dave, and just sort of let the players fill the lanes and then see what happens. But you rush a pass, defenders anticipating it. You were sort of, what's that when a quarterback telegraphs the pass? That's what Marcus was doing.
Interesting angle here. They got Tatum in the right corner to inbound, and no problem. They'll get it into White. Top of the key. Jaylen Brown back on the floor. Catches the pass. Drives the paint. Jump stop. Shoots and scores from about 8 feet. Had to be careful on that drive to stop and not pick up that 5th foul. Boston by 6 with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Vincent right wing. Stop the dribble. Throws to Strus. Now they swing to the left side in Martin. Butler left corner. Jab step. Drives into the paint. Kicks to the right corner. Martin puts up the 3. It's too strong. Long rebound near side. Battled for between Bam and Brown, and out of bounds off of Jaylen Brown.
But I like the play by Jaylen Brown. You're hustling as is Bam. If there's a ball in the air or a ball on the ground and you want to win a game, you pursue it. Both guys did exactly that.
Miami inbounding near side. Strus, and he shot the ball, but there was a foul as Bam Adebayo and Grant Williams collided.
Big surprise here. The Miami Heat are going to shoot free throws.
And was that before the inbound pass? It was close to before the ball was released by the inbounder. And if that's the case, it would be away from the play foul, a free throw. A free throw for Miami, along with then 2 free throws because of the foul on Grant Williams.
Question, I'm not sure of this. I feel like the inbounder had released the pass. Does the pass have to be completed?
No, I think it's just when it's out of his hand.
It's out of his hand. So this should just be a foul with a couple of free throws coming.
Rolling on the floor is a defensive foul on Williams. The play is under review to see if it meets the criteria from an away from the play foul.
I don't know. Looking on the second replay, you thought, I mean, there is the run him over. He hadn't released it. I think this is actually going to be your original thought.
It's when the foul occurs, not when the whistle blows, and the foul looked like it happened, and the ball was still in Butler's hand, and this could be a big point here. If Miami gets an extra free throw out of it, it's going to be 2 free throws already.
This is big, and I think it's actually going to be exactly that, Dave. Just looking at the replay.
And that's 3 fouls on Grant Williams. So you got Smart and Grant Williams with 3 each. You got 4 on Jaylen Brown.
And it's easy for me to sit here, right, and criticize the Boston Celtics for fouling too much. Your mind has been in a state of desperation. It has been your defensive effort in the last 2 games that's gotten you back into the series, in addition to the 3-point shooting. So what I'm asking them to do is stay disciplined and still guard at a very high level. It's easier, for me to say it than do it.
Boston is holding Miami to 35%, but Miami's 10 of 22 from 3. Boston is 5 of 22. So plus 15 points for Miami at the 3-point line.
This has taken a long time, and I got to be honest with you. I think it's clear when the foul happened. I think this is going to be multiple free throws, the 2 and then the 1 for Grant hit, running over Bam before the release of the ball.
After review, the illegal contact by Williams took place prior to the release of the inbound, making this an away from the play foul. 1 shot in the ball for Miami.
So 71-65, Boston leads. 4:57 remaining in the third quarter. So it'll be 1 free throw. And then possession, they're saying.
Why not free throws?
I thought that as well, but they're putting the shot clock at 14, so they're going to give them possession because they're saying the foul only counts for the away from the play foul, not in the sense of where you get basically 2 trips to the line out of the 1 foul. Strus will shoot it, and he missed it. So after all that, couldn't make the free throw. Miami side out of bounds. 4:57 to go, third quarter. 71-65 Celtics. One of the longest quarters in NBA playoff history, and we got 5 minutes to go.
And I've made 2 football references, and you haven't responded either.
But you were right. You said it, telegraphing it. That's exactly what happened. Strus has it top of the circle. Right-hand dribble, stops at the elbow, shoots from there, and it hits the front rim. No, Bam gets the offensive rebound, though. Goes back up. Can't score. Jimmy Butler, and he's tied up by Derek White. Boy, Miami is out hustling again. Boston getting to the offensive rebounds. We're going to have a jump ball here.
The inability for Boston to defensive rebound, the separation of rebounds is only 29-28. But it's been the pressure on the offensive boards put on by Miami. Credit Derek White. I mean, Jimmy Butler had control of that ball. He does a good job just tying them up.
So foul line 2 are left with 4:44 to go in the third. Butler against White. Miami going right to left. Boston left to right. And the jump is won by the Celtics.
Grant Williams holding his left wrist right now coming up the floor.
It's the third Celtic we've seen holding their wrists. Jaylen Brown stops at the head of the key, shoots and hits. Jaylen Brown with 17.
We call that elite breaks, folks. The ability to hard dribble at your defender and stop on the time they go flying past easy money.
73-65 Boston, 4:15 to go, third quarter. Butler starts top of the key, drives on Robert Williams, stops in the lane. Nowhere to go, so he kicks it out to Martin. 8 to shoot. Martin with a jab step. Now tries a three-pointer, right wing short, and it's rebounded by Robert Williams. Hands off Tatum, quickly to Brown, front court right. Robert Williams, low post right. Leans in, makes the shot, plus a foul on Caleb Martin. A 3-point chance for Robert Williams.
The ability of Robert Williams to keep the left pivot foot down on the contact, because if he doesn't keep the pivot foot down, it's a foul before the shot. Instead, that ability to keep it down and get into your shooting motion, big time play right there by Robert.
Third foul on Martin, second team foul. The lead is back to 10. The largest lead for Boston was at 11 late in the second quarter. The free throw from Williams is good. They've now matched their largest lead. It's a 10-2 Celtic run.
Jimmy Butler 2 for 13. Again, I go back to the discipline showed by Boston.
And Bam, 3 of 11. Butler with the ball, front court to our left, to the top of the key, guarded by Derek White. Stops at the foul line, now backs him down, gets in the lane, turnaround jumper, no good from 12, and it's rebounded by Williams. Boston ball, 3.5 to go in the third, up 11. Tatum in the front court to our right, telling Jaylen Brown to get out of there. He wants to clear out on Strus. They double Tatum to Derek White. Now swing to Brown, drives the lane. And he's falling away as he got bumped. He missed the shot, but it'll go to the line. He looked out of control, but there was contact and knocked him off the spot. He'll shoot 2.
This is a design play, though, believe it or not, Dave. Off the double team, we've seen Boston go access this a lot. When the double goes to Jason and they get him spaced to the right side of the floor, it's not the first pass, it's the second pass. As soon as the Tatum double comes and Tatum releases the ball, Jason dive cuts through the front, and that gives him momentum to the cup.
Second on Strus, third team foul. Brown's first free throw, around and down. Boston has its largest lead of the game at the 3:27 mark of the third quarter. 12-point advantage. Kyle Lowry checking in. Gabe Vincent goes out. Keep an eye on this because Miami's been at its best when Vincent's been on the floor. And we've also seen a lot of times where Lowry and Vincent were out there together in the first half. But not right now.
And Lowry had, I thought, more pop in that first half than his last couple of games where it was a real struggle. He's a prideful guy. Can he make an impact here?
Both free throws are good for Jaylen Brown at 78-65 Boston. Miami ball nearing 3 minutes to go in the third. Butler against Tatum. Tatum has not scored in the third quarter, yet they've elevated their lead. Butler on the right wing has Williams on him. Goes baseline. It's Martin for 3 on the left side. Good again. Caleb Martin on fire. 21 points, 4 threes.
Fearless shot maker. Ready on the catch. Didn't look like he had great balance. Didn't matter.
78-68 Celtics. 2:55 to go. Jaylen Brown right side answers for 3. No. And it's rebounded by Butler for Miami. He trying to have a strong close to the quarter after trailing by 13. They cut it to 10. Now hit Bam, the low post left. Goes into the lane. Fall away jumper, front rim, no. Batted out to the near side to Butler. Butler drives. Goes at Robert Williams. Hangs. Misses. Ball batted in the air under the basket.
It went through the rim. So what is that? Is that a jump ball?
Should be a jump ball.
Side out Miami? Why?
Unless they're saying Boston touched it last, and therefore, when the violation occurred, it was last touched by Boston.
Cannot say enough, though, about the offensive pressure they're putting on because the multiple attempts, whether it's Strus, Bam, Jimmy, they're all getting to that offensive window.
Vincent's back in. That's that lineup now with Lowry and Vincent out there together. Butler will inbound, right side. Lobs to Bam Adebayo at the top of the key. Miami down 10 with 2.5 to go third quarter. Now Vincent driving left of the lane. Righty layup, no good. Batted out to Jaylen Brown. Brown into the front court. Lost the ball, but Derek White catches it. Right side shoots. And it missed for 3. And Miami couldn't save it, though. Out of bounds. Kyle Lowry and Bam Adebayo both went for the ball. They both went out of bounds. Neither touched it. And then finally, it was touched last and grazed by Bam Adebayo, so it's Boston ball.
Derek White goes out of the game. He's just 1 for 5. He's done yeoman's work defensively, but he checks out.
Inbound to Tatum on the left wing. Boston by 10, 2:15 to go in the third. Tatum backing down. Martin spins baseline, lost it out of bounds. It looked like Tatum touched it last. They're going to say that it was off of Martin's knee, so it will stay with the Celtics, 8 to shoot.
Visible frustration on him. What was a non-call from Jason Tatum?
And Eric Spoelstra used his challenge already. Smart will inbound. Baseline right. Finds Tatum in the corner. He's doubled. Got to give it up. Does to Williams. And the ball poked away and stolen. Miami ball. Butler did a good job defensively. 2 minutes to go in the third. 78-68 Celtics. Still plenty of time for Miami. Leads the series 3-2. Vincent on the left side. About 25 feet away from the basket. Dribbles into the lane. Guarded there by Tatum. Leans in. Scoop shot with the left hand way off. And it's rebounded by the Celtics. Smart on the run left to right. Got caught in the air and hits Tatum. And they called traveling. When he got caught in the air, he went to the ground first.
Boston needs to settle down. Their turnovers are mounting here. You got the lead. Play smart basketball. What are you rushing for? We've seen them a couple of times in transition. Marcus Smart, you're the point guard. That can't happen.
Sloppy basketball. 10-point advantage, though, 78-68 with 90 seconds to go in the third. Facing up on the left side is Bam, about 15 feet away. Adebayo with a right-hand jab step. Now gets into the paint. Jump hook is short, and it's rebounded by Williams. Bam is 3 for 13. Butler's 2 for 15. Yet they're only down 10 with a minute 25 to go in the third. Smart dribbling it near midcourt. Guarded by Vincent, who's backing up by about 5 feet. Smart now left side, bounce pass underneath. Williams couldn't handle the pass, but then he's able to get to the loose ball and kick it out to Williams, who drives. And Williams missed the shot in the lane, but he's fouled. Robert Williams saving it to Grant Williams, who will shoot two.
Again, a pass where I think Marcus trying to thread the needle and make a rush. You got to know who you're throwing to. That's not a pass Robert Williams can handle, catch it cleanly, and finish. Marcus is sped up, and there's no reason for him to be sped up.
Definitely looking to rush as a team for whatever reason here at the end of the third. Grant Williams' first free throw is short.
You're not going to win the game in a 30-second stretch. And again, I go back to the desperation mindset, right? You've been on edge, and that's what you're seeing here from Boston. We're sort of regulating that intensity with smart play is a really challenging thing.
Williams gets the second free throw. 1 minute to go in the third quarter. Boston 79, Miami 68. Boston's largest lead was 13. Lowry, left side from 18 feet, puts it up and hits. Kyle Lowry with a much-needed basket off the bench for Miami.
You're hanging around. I mean, Miami's comfortable. They've played against adverse circumstances all year. It's a possession ball game in the fourth. 58 times they've been there this year.
79-70 Boston, 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. Derek White with the ball at the hash mark left side to Tatum, who still has not scored in the quarter. Tatum is doubled left wing, puts it up anyway, and misses the shot. It's rebounded by Vincent with 35 seconds to go. And then a foul called on Robert Williams, colliding with Kyle Lowry. It's amazing. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are 5 for 28. Yet if Kyle Lowry makes these free throws, Miami's only down 7.
Correct. And credit them, because this is Miami Heat basketball. Hanging around, scrapping, showing grit. Things not going your way, making just enough plays. And Boston, again, they're on edge. They're trying to knock them out. And in doing so, they're opening a window to let them back in.
Which they have done as Lowry gets the first free throw. The foul was on Robert Williams, his second. Grant Williams will come out. Jalen Brown checks back in.
Basketball, to me, is about doing the simple things and the hard things over and over and over again, regardless of the circumstance.
Second free throw from Lowry's good.
So Boston's got to settle down here. It'll be interesting what their demeanor and temperament is in the fourth quarter.
Miami's shooting 32%. 32% in a playoff game and only down 7. 25 seconds left. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Smart top of the key. Throws to Jalen Brown. Drives right side, middle of the lane. Lost the ball. It's on the floor. Miami has it. Bam Adebayo in the backcourt. And he hands it off for Lowry. In the front court, Butler on the right side with 10 seconds left. Drives, middle of the lane. Hands off Lowry. Out to Vincent. He'll take it down the middle of the paint. Hangs and has it blocked by Robert Williams. 3 seconds to go. Smart behind the back dribble. Left side. Puts up a three at the buzzer. No good. Very sloppy finish to that third quarter by the Celtics, but they still lead by 7. Miami shooting 31.9%, yet not down 17, down 7. Boston 79, Miami 72. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
The Dave app wants to change the way you bank, starting with putting more money in your pocket. Get up to $500 instantly with an extra cash advance. You can even earn more money with a side hustle. Dave also helps you level up your cash with ways to budget, set goals, and save. It's the banking app for smarter money moves. Download the Dave app now or go to dave.com. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve. Member FDIC.
MLB fans, when you need tickets to catch your favorite team live all season long, Ticketmaster's got them. As the world's largest ticket marketplace, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of seats available and at competitive prices, so you never have to worry about missing a game. Take yourself out to the ballpark this season and get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/MLB. That's Ticketmaster.com/MLB.
The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio. After surviving their second straight must-win, the Celtics face yet another must-win, this time in Game 6. Will they survive, or will the Heat finally put them away and advance to the NBA Finals? Game 6 of the Celtics and Heat, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on Sirius XM Channel 80.
Kevin Winter with you inside our Granger studio. 12 minutes to go in Game 6. I'm going to try to encapsulate that third quarter for everybody. Jaylen Brown gets 4 fouls, spends most of the quarter on the bench. Miami gets Boston into the bonus, so the Heat are shooting free throws with about 9 minutes to go in the quarter. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are still a combined 5 of 29, and in that third quarter, neither Jimmy Butler nor Jason Tatum scored. Okay, 79-72, Boston with the lead over Miami to start the fourth quarter in Kaseya Center. Before we go to Dave and Doris, here's Roz Goldenwood.
Thanks, Kevin. Marcus Smart told me the mindset the Celtics need in order to get this win in Game 6 is to go out here and play every game, every quarter, every minute like it's our last. And he said, I'll say it again, don't let us get one. It's 3-2, and we're on their home court. A lot of people laughed when I said that last time. We understand the odds are stacked against us. We understand that this has never been done. But there's always a first time for everything, guys.
But for that to happen, Boston can't be as sloppy as it was at the end of the third.
5 turnovers in the quarter. Miami only shoots 5 for 26, 19%, but your turnovers have opened a window here for Miami. Down 7 with the ball, Jimmy Butler comes up the floor.
And you said what they shot in that quarter, they were outscored by 3 points in the quarter and shot under 20%. Amazing. Right side on the front court is Duncan Robinson, guarded by Horford with 8 to shoot. Bounce pass to the low block right. Bam Adebayo. Half hook is good off the glass, and the Heat only down 5.
Well, again, that's Bam and Duncan's two-man game. They worked the switch. It meant the small is on Bam. That's easy money.
Marcus Smart left side on the front court. Hands off for Derek White. If somehow Miami comes back and wins, Boston is going to, all summer long, regret that third quarter. May come back to cost them the game and the series. White 3, right side, no good. Offensive rebound, Horford out to Smart. He'll try it from the left wing. No good on the 3. Rebound, Caleb Martin, Miami ball. 79-74 Boston, a minute gone by fourth quarter. Lowry left baseline, gets inside of Grant Williams. Under the basket, he's stuck now. Bounces to Duncan Robinson, who lays it in with the right hand, and it's a 3-point game. 11-1 run by the Heat.
How about Duncan Robinson again with a big play? This guy's ability to play without the ball, to diversify his game as a cutter. Nice, smart play there.
79-76 Boston, 10:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown in between the circles, moves to his left, guarded by Duncan Robinson. Brown between the leg dribble, fires underneath to White. Nice catch, but now he's stripped by Lowry, and they're going to say a foul on Miami, on Lowry. It's his second and the first on the Heat here in the quarter.
You survived that stretch of play where Jaylen Brown had the 4 personal fouls and Marcus 3. But how about the grit of Kyle Lowry in the paint? Looks like he's buried in trouble. Opportunistic play by Duncan.
Actually said it was Caleb Martin who picked up the foul, his 4th. Inbound pass to White, who hits a 3, top of the key. Miami didn't look like it was prepared, just kind of standing around. And it's 82-76. Boston leads with 10:15 to go in the fourth. Bam Adebayo at the right elbow, stops the dribble, throws to Lowry on the left wing. Lowry trying to drive baseline. It was cut off by Jaylen Brown. Lowry goes at him again. Low post left. Banging bodies with Jaylen Brown. Lowry leans in, puts it up, and scores over Jaylen Brown.
How the heck does he get that shot off? That's again, pride by Kyle Lowry. That looked like a possession going nowhere.
Just using his power to back down Jaylen Brown, who's back the other way with the ball. Brown stops at the right elbow. Good defense by Robinson. Derek White fouled by Lowry about 25 feet away from the basket. That's the second Miami foul. 9:46 to go in the game. 82-78 Celtics.
And Joe Mazzulla not going to wait any longer. Jason Tatum back on the floor. Brief respite. Grant Williams goes out. I think this is smart to get him back on. Caleb Martin checks out.
Tatum did not score in the third quarter. Has not hit a 3. Does have 25 points though. Tatum inbounding, lobs to Smart, right baseline, guarded by Robinson, fires underneath, great catch by White. They work it around to the left wing for Jaylen Brown, whose three is no good, and rebounded by Bam. Boston is shooting 20% from three.
6 for 29.
Miami ball 2.5 minutes into the fourth, only down 4, looking to come back and close out Boston and win the series. Driving left elbow, Butler takes the jumper, front rim no. Another offensive rebound for Bam Adebayo. Out to Vincent, right wing. Now Butler is on the right side, 2 for 16 from the floor. Gets in the lane. Shot off the glass is good by Butler.
Derek White.
They're going to wave it off. I think you're calling an offensive foul.
Wow.
Derek White in pain, flat on his back. Offensive foul on Butler, his third personal, no basket. 82-78 remains the score with 9:11 to play in the fourth. And obviously the Heat cannot overturn this. Now they may look to see if there's a flagrant.
Boston is asking for a review. And I think what they're asking for is, did Jimmy Butler lead with his elbow? And if so, was there contact above the head or on the head?
Because what they can look at now, they can't look at whether it was a personal foul. It's been called a personal foul on Jimmy Butler.
An offensive foul on Butler. The play is under review to see if it meets the criteria for a flagrant foul.
Right. So Eric Spoelstra and Miami want them to change the call, but they can't. They're out of challenges, and so all they can determine now is whether it was a flagrant foul. If it's not a flagrant foul, it's still a personal foul. No basket, Boston ball.
I do not believe this is going to be a flagrant foul. That was an offensive player just trying to make a move to the cup. I do not think this is a flagrant foul. Although now I look from the other angle. Okay, now I'm taking that back.
I mean, right shoulder, and more towards the bicep, under the chin of Derek White. Unnecessary physical contact is the definition of a flagrant one. But in a way, I mean, to what you said just a second ago before you saw the replay, I mean, he's going up for the shot. He doesn't flail his arm out.
No, and that's why, it's amazing the different angles and what your interpretation is. I still think this is a basketball play, that it is just an offensive foul and not flagrant. Now, how the officials see it, I don't know.
You wonder, too, here with the way Miami's playing and how Boston has kind of fumbled this thing where Miami's been able to get back in the game. If the Heat get the lead at some point,
After
what's
review,
Boston
the contact by Butler, although an offensive foul does not meet the criteria for a flagrant foul, offensive foul stands.
What I was saying was, if Miami somehow gets the lead, what's Boston made of? We know what Miami's made of. We know what they have in terms of mental toughness, but how will Boston handle that if the 13-point lead all of a sudden becomes a deficit? We got 9:11 to go. They're up 4, and they do have the ball. Jimmy Butler's got 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. He is 2 for 16.
And Bam is 4 for 15, make it 2 for 17. So they are combined 6 for 35, and yet they trail by 4.
Derek White into the front court, guarded by Lowry on the right side of the floor. Lowry is pounding him. Tatum catches top of the key. Still has not scored since the second quarter. Tatum backs it out near the midcourt stripe. He's doubled. Fakes a pass, and they're going to call him for a palming. So a turnover by Jason Tatum. Again, an unnecessary error by the Celtics.
You got to get off the ball quickly. If the double comes, get off it quickly. Jason was thinking about making a behind-the-back play. Not now. Make the easy play.
Butler with the ball, front court to our left on the right wing. Throws to Duncan Robinson, catch and shoot, left side of 3. Duncan Robinson brings Miami within 1 with 8.5 to go.
Make it 12 for 25 from 3. That's the difference in the ball game.
Marcus Smart, top of the key. To Horford, now Brown on the left wing with a shot clock at 8. A jab step, now a 3 from Jaylen Brown. No good, another miss. Rebound Miami. Heat with a chance to take the lead. Lowry into the front court. Drives into the paint. Kicks it out to Robinson, top of the circle. Now Butler near midcourt, going to slow it down. On the right side, handoff Robinson on the right wing. They double him, so he drives into the lane. Goes to the left hand, missed the shot. The putback is good by Butler. It's the first lead for Miami since early in the first quarter.
So just what you said now, you've got to respond. Boston's been here before. Does their experience show?
The Boston Celtics have fumbled this lead away. We've got a whistle and a Miami foul. That's the third team foul. No fouls yet on Boston. 7:44 to go. Miami has just overcome a 13-point lead with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo having the worst game maybe together they've had all year.
2 aggressive plays by Duncan Robinson gets you into the lead.
Jaylen Brown, right elbow, facing up now, spins past his man, drives, blocked by Bam Adebayo. A foul is called. Will they count the basket? It looked like a good block. It's the fourth team foul. It was in the active shooting. Zach Zarba is having a conversation now with Josh Tiven about whether to count the basket.
So usually the far side official has the best angle on whether or not that's a clean block. All right, he's not usually impeded. Oh, I don't know. That looks a little closer than you think, Dave. Can they look? Is this something they can look at if they need to?
No. They're still having a conversation here. It's hard to tell if it's on the way down. It definitely did not hit the backboard. The question is, I think it's still on the way up. Bam Adebayo grabbed the rim with his left hand. That's the other side of it. They're going to count the basket.
Boy.
I think it's because he had his left hand on the rim.
Gotcha.
So the fouls on Lowry count the basket. It's the fourth team foul on Miami. Boston retakes the lead, 84-83 with 7:37 to go.
And no team fouls on the Boston Celtics to this point.
So they say a technical foul because of the hang on the rim. Jaylen Brown just made the free throw, plus you count the basket, and you have the personal foul. So this is a chance to get 4 points on this possession. It's now 85-83. It's very rare in the NBA, unless you have a guy fouled making a three, to have a 4-point offensive possession. They're almost extinct in the NBA, and there's a chance to have one here.
How about the response from Boston? Now he makes the second free throw. Boston retakes the lead. So, shot by the Miami Heat, response by the Celtics.
But again, just a wild sequence there with Bam Adebayo, the goaltending hang on the rim. Duncan Robinson and a reach-in foul on Boston as Robinson was trying to secure the catch. It's on Horford, his third personal, first team foul. 7:33 to go. Boston 86, Miami 83. A Miami win means the Heat wins the East and is off to the NBA Finals. A Boston win means we have Game 7 Monday back in Boston. Adebayo, left wing about 20 feet away, hands off for Robinson. Moves to his left, takes a long two. It's off the money, and it's rebounded by Horford. Stripped by Lowry, saves it. Bam Adebayo has it rejected. What a play by Horford. Jaylen Brown on the front court, drives, right-handed layup, no. But a foul on the Heat. What a sequence there. On the left side of the floor, ending in the swat by Al Horford.
Boy, Kyle Lowry sneaking in to strip that away, shoveling it to Bam, and literally Al Horford meets him at the cup on a dunk and sends it back. Are you kidding me?
Meanwhile, the fourth team foul on the Heat. Fifth team foul, Gabe Vincent with his fourth personal, so now Boston is shooting the rest of the game. Jaylen Brown gets the first free throw. The lead is up to 4 now. We wondered if Miami got the lead, and they did, how the Celtics would respond. If you're Joe Mazzulla, this is what you want. Caleb Martin in, Kyle Lowry out.
So if you're the Boston Celtics, it's about making free throws, continuing to execute, communication defensively. And if you are Miami, you're just going to keep grinding, Dave. You just got to keep grinding and hope that Jimmy's going to make. This is typically the point of the game where you just count on Jimmy Butler to make enough plays, and they put it in his hands as he comes up the floor.
88-83. Boston leads, 7-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Butler in between the rings, drives right side, has Tatum on his hip, and missed the layup. He was at point-blank range and couldn't score. Boston ball up the court on the right side is Tatum. Backing down Martin. Tatum hasn't scored since the second quarter. He's stripped and fouled by Martin. That's 5 on Caleb Martin, and now Tatum will go to the line.
I like Tatum just not settling. I mean, he and Jaylen Brown have 49 points between them. Don't settle.
And don't go away. Who knows what's going to happen the last 6 minutes and 54 seconds of this game. 88-83, Boston leads the Heat. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Memorial Day on ESPN Radio. Carlos Correa.
Wow.
And the AL Central leading Minnesota Twins head to Houston to face Yordan Alvarez and the Astros.
Hit a ton. Yordan Alvarez with a 3-run homer.
The Minnesota Twins at the Houston Astros. Coverage begins Monday at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on your smart speaker. Greeny.
LeBron is definitely not retiring. Definitely not. Never listen to what a player says about his future in the frustrated moments after a defeat that ends his season.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Did you miss Canty and Carlin?
By the start of 2024, if not sooner, Kellen Moore will be the head coach of the of the LA Chargers.
Hello. I can't have you throwing out hot takes like that, though.
Why?
Because you're ruining our show. We have another list.
Did I just take away something from that list?
You did.
Just remove Carlin from the name of the show. I'm not even here. Canty and the fat guy.
Canty and Carlin. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
I personally don't think LeBron James is going to retire. One of the things I think he really wants to do is play with his son, Bronny. You can just tell the determination in his voice that he wants to be out there with his son at some point, playing against him, those two guys matching up against one another or being on the same roster. It is something that LeBron James wants to do and accomplish that no one has ever did in the NBA.
Fitz and Harry. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Mike Greenberg, Greeny.
LeBron is definitely not retiring. Definitely not. Never listen to what a player says about his future in the frustrated moments after a defeat that ends his season. It's a natural question to ask, but it is the worst time to get an answer that has any perspective in it from a guy like LeBron. 38 years old, gave his team 31 points in the first half. The rest of his team couldn't pick him up enough to win a single game in this series. I think LeBron James was understandably frustrated, but he went out on his shield. If you put the onus for the way this thing went on LeBron James, then you either A, have no idea what you're talking about, or B, just have an agenda. No one in their right mind could look at that series and say LeBron is to be discredited, diminished, or criticized in any way for his performance.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Kevin with you inside our Granger studio. What a ball game this is. 6:54 to go in the fourth quarter. Boston by 5, 88-83. The next time we are with you, it's not certain yet. We're either going to be with you on Monday night for Game 7 in the series. Coverage will start 8 p.m. Eastern time. Or we are going to be with you on Thursday for Game 1 of the finals, at which point our coverage would begin at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Every game of the NBA Finals will have a 1-hour pregame show with myself and Roscoe Woodey leading up to the call with Mark Kestisher, PJ Carlissimo, and Doris Burke. Boston 88, Miami 83, 6:54 to go in the fourth quarter. Back to Doris and Dave and Roz in Miami.
Who knows how this thing's going to end? Just when you thought Boston might blow it open, Miami takes advantage of some sloppy Celtics play to take the lead and overcome a 13-point deficit very quickly. But then Boston, on a very odd 4-point play that did not involve a made three, retakes the lead. Now Jason Tatum's at the line looking for his first points of the half with the Celtics up 5. Boston will shoot free throws the rest of the game. Meanwhile, Miami has just one team foul, or Boston has one team foul, I should say. Tatum gets the bounce on the foul shot. He's 12 for 12 at the line.
He had a 25-point first half. He has 5 this playoffs. The only guy who's got more in a single playoff run, LeBron James with 6.
That was back in 2018. Tatum gets the second free throw, and the lead is back to 7-8. Nothing run by Boston after Miami took the lead. 6:45 to go here in the fourth. Bam Adebayo left wing. tried to hand it off for Duncan Robinson and lost the ball, but ended up getting back to Robinson, who stops at the foul line. Gives it up to Bam. Bad spacing. Shot clock at 3. Lowry on the right wing. Out of control. Finds Robinson left side. A 3 is up and good from Duncan Robinson as the shot clock expired.
I'll tell you, they had scrambled beautifully, Boston, in that set, but they kept working Miami and eventually get to an open 3.
Third 3 for Robinson off the bench. 90-86 Boston. Backdoor cut Tatum, and he gets the layup with the right hand, his first field goal of the half. 92-86.
Boy, looked like a dangerous pass right there. Thread the needle by Marcus Smart.
6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Bam Adebayo facing up on Horford right wing, and now a Celtic foul.
I think they're going to get Marcus Smart maybe on a hold.
That's 4 on Smart.
He's dealing with Duncan Robinson. He knows Duncan's feeling good and aggressive, and he was basically holding him up, and there was no freedom of movement.
Second team foul. Robert Williams checks in for Al Horford. Bam Adebayo with the catch off the inbound pass. Standing at the top of the circle, looking to pass. Shot clock at 8. Fires to Robinson, cutting low right, and he gets the layup.
And that's split action, very similar to what the Golden State Warriors do. You sell out topside because you don't want to give up the 3, and he back cuts you.
5.5 to go in the game. 92-88 Boston. Tatum brings it up the floor. He's at the midcourt line, guarded by Jimmy Butler, who backs away. Lob to Derek White, right side. White back to the basket. Shot clock at 8. Now White takes a 3 straight away. It's good. Derek White with a big shot in the lead. Back to 7.
And he had not shot it well. Just 3 for 7. He was 2 for 6 before that one.
Vincent driving the other side. Stops at the foul line. Jumper is way short. Loose ball on the floor. Robert Williams has it and saves it to Tatum before going out of bounds. 5-minute mark. 95-88 Celtics. Tatum guarded by Bam Adebayo. About 40 feet away on the right side. Now Smart, top of the key, drives right side. Leans in, fouled and scores. A 3-point chance for Marcus Smart. What a response by the Celtics after they got down in the game. For the first time since early on, they're back up 9.
Now, who does Caleb Martin replace here? Because Duncan's playing well offensively, but they're going to attack him defensively. As soon as Smart sees Robinson in front of him, he goes at him. So Lowry out, Caleb in.
Third foul on Robinson. Marcus Smart trying to complete the 3-point play.
What a game by Marcus Smart again, boy. I'll tell you what, 4, 5, and now 6. He has been absolutely brilliant.
Knocks down the free throw, 20th point for Smart. And the lead is back to 10. We wondered about the grit, the toughness of Boston. They're showing it here. And they hang on with 4:45 to go. Butler stopped this dribble, bounces to Bam Adebayo. Front court left. Dribble handoff Robinson. His pass deflected, ends up in Butler's hands in the lane. Kicks it out to Martin left side. A sidestep 3 for Martin. Front rim, no. Tatum skies to get his 9th rebound.
I'll tell you what, their switching right now has been on point. Passing off, making sure the shooters can't get to a 3 in that instant.
Tatum into the front court with 4:20 to go in the game. 98-88 Celtics. Tatum right side, 30 feet away. Tatum still with a dribble. A sidestep 3 right side, no good. Jaylen Brown offensive rebound in the middle of the lane, though. He'll bring it back out. Joe Mazzulla calls a timeout, wants to make sure he gets the most of this possession with a shot clock at 12.
Joe Mazzulla had to sprint down to the baseline from the hash mark, wildly gesticulating like, I need a timeout right here.
The lead is 10, 4:10 to go. 98-88 Celtics with Miami up 3-2 in the series. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
The Low Post Podcast with Zach Lowe.
As expected, Jaylen Brown made an All-NBA team, and he will now be eligible for the biggest possible contract he could be eligible for. They are immediately facing a decision. Are we putting all our eggs in this basket? Because I can tell you this, if they go to Jaylen Brown and get cute and be like, I know you're eligible for 35%, but can we do like a 30% and maybe it escalates to 31%? Like, that's not going to go over well.
Check out the Low Post Podcast on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Sunday.
Welcome to the Monaco Grand Prix.
Formula One takes to the streets.
The Street Fighter's done it again. King of the streets.
As the rock stars of racing return to their crown jewel.
Check out you at Monaco.
The Formula One Monaco Grand Prix. Coverage begins Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on ABC and ESPN+. ESPN coverage presented by Mercedes-Benz.
This is DC and RC. I'm Daniel Cormier, former UFC 2 Division champion.
And I'm RC, man, Ryan Clark. I'm a Super Bowl champ, but for now, I'm tapping in, not out with DC, because DC and RC is ready to roll.
Be sure to follow our new podcast where we're going to talk mixed martial arts, sports, we're going to talk life, maybe soap operas. All the while, we'll be having fun.
That's DC and RC. Follow wherever you listen to your podcast.
Kevin Wentz in a Granger studio. 4:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app presented by Indeed. I want to thank all of you who logged on to our Twitter account to vote in the AutoZone in the Zone poll question. 50% of you said Jaylen Brown to be the player to get in the game. Let's get you caught up in the recap for the final 3 and change of the third quarter into the first 4+ of the fourth. Miami went on an 18-4 run, but since Boston has responded 16-5, they lead by 10. Back to Dave, Doris, and Roz for the final 4 and change at Kaseya Center.
Been a wild fourth quarter, been a crazy game all the way around. Again, for Miami to be shooting 34%, their two best players have been atrocious offensively, yet they had the lead just a couple of minutes ago. But Boston's back up 10. Celtics have possession with 4:10 to go. They will shoot free throws for the rest of the game. They've been in the penalty for the last 3 minutes. Shot clock at 12 here for Boston.
6 double-digit scorers. Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, both with 13, lifting up Jimmy, and bam.
By the way, Miami only has 1 timeout left. Keep that in mind. Boston with 3. Tatum on the left wing with a shot clock at 4. The corner and Smart. Timers at 3. Smart trying to get some airspace. Puts it up. It's an air ball, and it's rebounded by Bam Adebayo. Racing into the front court to our left. Keeps the dribble. Drives middle of the lane. Hands off for Butler. Goes up, and it's high off the glass. No good, but a foul on Derek White, and Butler will shoot 2. Third team foul against the Celtics.
Got to be disciplined from the 4-minute mark and down if you're Boston. Derek White, good challenge there, but you don't yet have yourself in foul bonus territory putting Miami at the line. You got to keep that going. Jimmy Butler, an opportunity to make some points on the board, no time off the clock. They've got to start to make some things happen defensively. I would anticipate that you would see Boston attack Duncan Robinson on the defensive end.
Butler gets the first free throw. It's a 9-point deficit. He's 2 assists away from what might go down as the worst triple-double in NBA playoff history. If he gets it, he's 3 for 19 from the floor, but he's making his free throws, and Miami's only down 8 with 3:45 to go. 98-90 Celtics. Tatum into the front court. Guarded by Gabe Vincent, 30 feet away on the right side. Tatum throws to Jaylen Brown, knifing through the defense. Lobs to Williams, low right. Goes up and misses the bank shot. Rebound, Martin. Miami ball. 3.5 to go. Martin into the forecourt. Throws to Butler, right wing. He's got Robert Williams on him, so he's going to drive right side. He's fouled, puts the shot up. It's an air ball, but Williams makes the mistake of making contact.
I just said you have to not foul here. 4 minutes and down. You're opening up, you're lengthening the game, and you're putting an excellent free throw shooter on the foul line. Does Al Horford come back in here at some point? Because he's your smarter, more disciplined defender. Robert is a guy who tends to, as good as he is, he can go for shot fakes. He can make some mistakes.
Horford is at the scores table, so to your point, Doris, looks like he's going to come in. First free throw for Jimmy Butler is up and no good. It's his first miss of the night.
The other thing Al Horford does, and I know Al Horford is 0 for 2 from 3. The other thing he does is he gives you somebody, if you leave him wide open, he will pull the trigger on the 3. Al has called himself an elite shooter, so if he gets an open one, he will not hesitate.
One more free throw for Butler. It's up. It's good. It's 98-91. Boston, 3:25 to go. Three-quarter court pressure by the Heat. Tatum finds White still in the backcourt on the far side. Now he gets it across the timeline. It's Tatum, who's got 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. Just 4 points in the second half for Tatum. Right corner pass to Smart. Now on the right wing, it's White. Shot clock at 7. White in the lane. Floater, no good. Tatum got the offensive rebound, and he was pushed. A Miami foul. Tatum will go to the line.
So all game, we've been waiting for Miami to show zone. And now the last 2 possessions, Miami has gone zone. And what does that do for you? You gap the front. Your best defenders are at the top of that 3-2 zone, and you are showing bodies to Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Fans just saw the replay. They did not think it was a push by Gabe Vincent. That's 5 fouls on Vincent. And Tatum at the line, shooting 2. He's 13 of 13, make it 14 of 14 at the line. That's his 30th point. The lead back to 8 with 3:04 to go. A little bit of contact looking at the replay from Vincent, but not much. One more foul shot from Tatum. Bounces, now bends and fires and hits. 100-91, 3-minute mark. Boston 3 minutes away from forcing a game 7. Vincent in the front court to our left. Has a screen. Now he's at the top of the key. Good switch by Smart because Vincent was open a lot on those in the first half. Not that time. Now he backs out. Shot clock at 8. Between the leg dribble. Vincent, middle of the lane. Layup with the right hand is good against Horford. Pretty drive by Vincent.
Al Horford a little bit frustrated with himself, but that's speed. He made that as difficult as you could.
Boston ball in the backcourt, 2.5 to go, leading 100-93. Tatum left wing in the front court near the hash mark. Gabe Vincent's got 5 fouls, and he's guarding Jason Tatum. Tatum keeps the dribble, bounces middle of the lane. Horford lost the ball, but regathers. Shot clock at 5. Horford, jump hook, no. Got the rebound that's poked away from behind, and it's Miami ball. 2:15 to go, Miami down 7. Right wing is Duncan Robinson. Fires to Butler on the right side. Step back 3 from Butler. Good! Butler has been bad, but not on that one. Miami only down 4 with 2 minutes to go.
And they're going right back to the zone, Dave. And they're just shrinking gaps. You see the communication and the pointing.
Tatum, top of the key. Stops the dribble. Fires to Horford, middle of the lane. Now back to Tatum. Tatum drives. Goes up for the shot. No good. And it's rebounded by Martin. He missed the layup with the right hand. 1:40 to go. Miami ball down 4. Butler front court to our left. He's on the right wing at the hash mark, guarded by Smart. Now drives. Gets down the middle of the paint. Hangs. Blocked. Tatum. But a late whistle. And Butler will shoot 2 to try to make it a 2-point game. Tatum commits the foul. His second.
Just want to go back to this. Miami's record in 62 clutch games is 38-24. We are officially there. Within 5, under 5 to play.
Butler with 2 free throw attempts. He's 7 for 8. 4 for 20 from the floor. 2 for 16 from 2-point range. First foul shot, good. It's 100-97 with 1:31 to go.
And so we've seen Boston in these situations before, right? They have fumbled over games late. They waited, Miami, till the last possible minute to go into this zone and change the rhythm and make Boston hesitant.
Second free throw, front rim. Spins out, offensive rebound. Martin, though, gets it out to Robinson, right wing. Rhythm dribble now for the tie. He missed it too strong. Rebound Smart. He was wide open. That would have evened the game with 1:20 to go, and Robinson couldn't hit it. Boston ball, front court to our right.
Why no Boston Celtics sprinted out to Duncan Robinson? They just stood there dumbfounded.
100-97 with 1:05 to go. White top of the key. Fires to Tatum right side. He'll shoot it from there. No good. Offensive rebound Brown. He missed the putback, but a foul is called on Miami. On the putback try by Brown, who missed the layup, but he'll shoot 2 with 1:01 on the clock, and the Celtics still leading by 3.
I mean, nobody from the Boston Celtics on that offensive rebound sprinted to. They were dumbfounded. Now you got pressure free throws for Jaylen Brown right here.
Foul was on Robinson, his third. Jaylen Brown is 7 of 8 at the line tonight. He's got 25 points, 10 rebounds. Bends the knee, stares down the rim. The first shot, good. 101-97 Celtics.
Have to be disciplined now. Both teams are in the bonus. 2 timeouts for Boston, 1 for the Heat. You have to be disciplined, stay down, have clean switches, communication. Do not foul. Make Miami shoot over the top of you.
Second free throw. Around and out. Rebound Butler with a minute to go. 4-point deficit for the Heat. Butler across the timeline. Driving right side. Gets past his man. Drives it. Horford and scores. Plus a foul. The Celtics with a mistake on defense. Butler, who's been struggling throughout the game, taking over late. A chance to make it a 1-point game.
Joe Mazzulla trying to encourage his team. Marcus Smart, I don't know whether he was anticipating a screen. He just walked away from Jimmy Butler on the drive.
The miscommunication defensively by Boston has been inexcusable here. 53 seconds left. Butler for the three-point play. The free throw is good. 101-100. A 9-1 Miami run. Celtics ball, 50 seconds left. Everybody on their feet here in Miami. Derek White dribbling it right side about 35 feet away with 12 to shoot. As a screen to his left. They double him at the top. Now to Tatum, right wing, shot clock at 7. Tatum on the move, gets past Butler, drives through the lane, lost the ball, gets it back, and it's blocked by Bam, low right. What a play by Adebayo, 25 seconds left. Miami down 1. Robinson, left wing, shoots a 3. No good off the heel. Rebound, Tatum. Ahead to Smart. Miami's got a foul with 18 seconds left. They're trying to foul Smart, and they do with 16.9 left in Boston up 1. Duncan Robinson, the dead-eye shooter, has had 2 opportunities here late. 1 to tie, 1 to lead, and he missed them both.
And both of them. The first one more wide open. The second one, Jaylen Brown was closing. But he had 2 great looks.
Pressure free throws for Smart. Even if he makes them, Miami will get a chance. The first free throw is short. Off the front iron.
2 consecutive missed free throws. Jaylen Brown on the second end. And then Marcus right there. Wow.
And Miami still has a timeout, can advance the ball. Smart's second free throw on the way. Good. And Miami is not going to call the timeout. They're going to save it. 102-100, 17 seconds left. Butler in the backcourt, going to bring it across the timeline with 12 seconds. He's on the left side of the floor with 10 seconds, 40 feet away. Now starts the drive. Picked up by Horford with 5 seconds. Right wing Butler with 5, with 4. To the right corner, and he went for the shot. He was fouled by Horford. Are they going to say it was on the floor, or was it a 3-point shot? If it's on the floor, it will be 2 free throws. They're going to say that it was in the act of shooting, but he was on the line when he shot it, so it's 2 free throws.
Are they going to use their has Boston used their challenge yet?
They have not. There's 2.1 seconds left. It's 102-100 Boston. The question is, was he past the line? The ruling on the floor was a 2-point shot.
Defensive foul on Horford is being challenged by Boston.
It's a foul.
Right.
This
But
is not getting overturned.
They're also going to look, though, to see if it's a 2 or a 3.
I thought he clearly, on that second replay we just saw, was inside the arc. But I'm not.
I don't know, George.
On this angle right here, you're right. He may be behind.
He stepped to the right corner.
Oh, my goodness. I think it's a 3.
It's a 3. Now, the question is, did they call it a foul? It looked like a foul. It looked like a foul on Horford. He definitely is behind the line. When he goes up for the shot, both feet are behind the line. So this would be 3 free throws, a chance to give Miami the lead with 2.1 seconds left.
And obviously, should he make all 3 or even 2, Boston has a timeout remaining, so you can advance the ball, which should give you a better opportunity at a clean look. This has been a crazy basketball game from the outset.
And a chance for Jimmy Butler maybe to send the Miami Heat to the NBA Finals. 102-100. The officials are done looking at the replay, so Zach Zarba, the crew chief, will announce whether the challenge was successful or not in the free throw
After review,
situation.
Horford commits illegal contact across the arm of Butler. Butler is also behind the 3-point line at the time of the foul.
So it's a foul, and it's 3 free throws and a chance to give Miami the lead. Jimmy Butler has been great down the stretch. A 3 for Butler, then he had a 2, and now he's got 3 free throws. We look at the rafters to our right. We see the names of Shaquille O'Neal, Alonzo Mourning, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. LeBron James will one day be up there. Jimmy Butler, who's already been to one NBA Finals as a Miami Heat, with a chance to go to another one, I think it's safe to say his number would be in the rafters as well. They might give him a parade if he makes all 3 free throws. They put time back on the clock. 3 seconds to go. 1 second back on the clock. Butler spins the ball in his hands. Free throw line to our left. 3 free throws coming. The first is on the way. It's good. 102-101, Boston.
This guy, I don't want to say he's immune to pressure, but he embraces pressure. The more gnarly it is, as Spo likes to say, the better.
Second free throw on the way. It's good. We're tied at 102 with 3 seconds to go. If he makes it or misses, Boston will call a timeout to advance the ball. Each team has 1 left.
Boston hasn't cleanly defensive rebounded all night. So you've got to, if he misses this, you've got to cleanly board this.
We are tied at 102. 1 more free throw for Butler. He spins it in his fingertips, stares at the ball, now looks at the rim, takes a dribble, he shoots, he hits. Miami leads it 103-102. Timeout, Boston. 3 seconds to go.
Jimmy Butler is 5 for 21. He was at one point 1 for 9 in the paint, scrapping and clawing and sticking with it. 11 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal. But when his team needed him to deliver, he steps up in every big way again. Incredible.
All right, Doris, what are you doing here if you're Boston? They're going to advance it. 3 seconds to go. They trail by 1.
So here's what I would say. If you are Miami, you are selling out and you want no part of Jason Tatum getting a catch of this. You're saying anybody but Jason Tatum makes this catch right now. Now, Derek White, who started this game struggling from 3, would be a guy that you'd think maybe they lose sight of. If you're selling out on Jaylen Brown, who can get up and over defenders and at least get a clean look, Dave, I think you're trying to take away those 2 guys. Now, listen, it's about cleanly inbounding the ball. There is time for a dribble should you need it.
Boston out of timeouts now. Are the Celtics going to force a Game 7, or is Miami going to the NBA Finals? We'll know after this play. 3 seconds to go. Boston will inbound it on the far side of the floor. It'll be Derek White who will inbound the ball. It's 103-102 Heat after Jimmy Butler made 3 free throws on a foul by Al Horford in the right corner. White will inbound. They're not going to defend the inbounder. Max Strus has his back to Derek White. Tatum's on the near side of the court. White looking, still has the ball. Inbound to Smart. Turns it, shoots a 3 left wing. Around and out. Miami, as a tip was good at the end, but I think the buzzer sounded. We're waiting to get an official ruling. There was a tip, and they count it. Oh, they count the tip, and Boston wins it 104-103. And he got it off in time. I don't know how. Low left, Derek White somehow tipped it in. The ball went around the rim from Smart and out, and White tipped it in. Derek White, low left, got the rebound. Miami stopped. Derek White put it up with about a 1/10 of a second left. And Boston's going to win it, and we're going to a Game 7, just the 4th time in NBA history.
On the floor is confirmed. Good basket.
A team has come back from down 3-0. The Boston Celtics, on a miracle putback by Derek White, have become the 4th team in NBA history to overcome a 3-0 deficit to force a Game 7. No team has won a 7-game series after trailing 3-0, but Boston will have a chance to do it Monday night in front of its home fans.
Was Lucky the Leprechaun near the cup? Because I have never seen anything like it. That was almost down and out. Derek White, timely, opportunistic play.
All right, let's go to Roz.
Jason, describe the relief you feel as that play went down from Derek White.
Oh, my God. It's a lot going on right now. That was You don't get no better than that. That was fun. That was fun. That was fun. That was fun.
What were the range of emotions you felt just now in these few seconds right here?
Like a big sigh of relief. It's like you get another chance. We're not done yet. We gotta keep fighting. But that was a hell of a win. I'm at lost for words. That's my bad.
It's all good. I got me too. What has Derek White meant to your team?
Everything. I told him this morning at shoot around. Be yourself. Be aggressive. If I pass it to you, shoot it. If you got to open it, go get it. Be a basketball player. We can't hold nothing back. God, as they say, let all the bullets go.
They took a lead in the fourth quarter. Then Jimmy Butler goes to the free throw line, knocks down 3 in a row. What was it like in winning time in the fourth quarter down the stretch to have resolve?
I mean, it seemed like when we down and out, we found a way. And that's what we did. We found a way. We still got another game, but man, did that feel good.
You guys went down 0-3 and you forced a game 7. What does that mean to you that you forced it?
I love this team. I love this team. No matter what everybody was saying, we kept fighting. We down but not out. So we got another chance. I go to war with every guy in that locker room. As it shows, we got a big one on Monday.
What will it take to make history on Monday?
This type of grit, this type of grind, this type of you got to play till the buzzer go, and that's what we're gonna do.
Good luck.
Thank you.
What an amazing, great job, Roz. What an amazing play by Derek White. Miami stopped after the shot by Smart. Derek White somehow snuck inside, and in one motion, as he went up, barely even secured the ball and put it up and scored. Miami was starting to celebrate, and then they looked at the officials because Boston was saying it was good, and it was. Marcus Smart with the miss, White the follow. We're going to Game 7.
Dave, you and I were talking prior to the game about the opportunity to perhaps call history. The fact that it's 0-150, the record for teams in this position, a miracle play essentially by Derek White. All of the things that haunted you this season, your inability to execute. Eric Spoelstra going to that zone late made Boston hesitate. They were fumbling away the game. And then Derek White out of nowhere makes an incredible play. And we march on to Game 7. I've never been involved with anything like this. Maybe the one time, the closest thing, but this was such a crazy game. You know, the 3-1 lead relinquished by the Golden State Warriors to the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James. That's as close as I can think of.
And again, watching the replay, there were 3 members of the Miami Heat that just stopped.
Standing there.
And Derek White started from the left corner, Doris. He was about 18 feet away, and he sprinted to the rim. And again, Miami looked like it wanted to celebrate. Boston was saying, it's good, go to the replay. And it was. What a finish, and we've got one more. Who knows what to expect on Monday? You wonder, can Miami now, a team that we have praised for its mental toughness, can it overcome what it just witnessed? Everybody assumed after the free throws from Butler and obviously the miss from Smart that they were going to put a banner up as Eastern Conference champs, but it's going to come down to Monday night.
I said they might lose Derek White, but I thought in the 3, they lost him on the board.
And again, he was from the left corner and sprinted to the basket while 3 Miami players stood there. What a finish. Wow. 104-103. Boston beats the Heat and forces a Game 7 Monday night. For Doris Burke, Roz Golden Woode, producer Mike Martino, engineer Bob White, I'm Dave Pash from Miami. Let's send it now to Kevin Winter in the studio with the postgame show.
I know you're not supposed to just laugh for an entire postgame show, but my goodness, what an absolute game that was. Dave, Doris, and Roz, safe travels to Boston on Monday night. The NBA's Eastern Conference Finals have been brought to you by and presented by Indeed. Need to hire? You need Indeed.com/credit. Up next to the postgame show, we are going to try and bring you as many pertinent highlights as possible of a game that saw an 18-4 run answered by a 16-5 run. Boston up by 10 in the fourth quarter, and then no longer in seconds. I mean, tenths of a second away from having their season come to an end, and not there's the Game 7. We will let you hear from the coaches. We'll take you to the podiums at Kaseya Center. There's going to be a Game 7 for the 4th time in NBA history after a team trailed 3-0. The Boston Celtics in utter miraculous fashion come back to beat the Miami Heat 104-103 on a tip-in by Derek White with the 10th of a second to go. Actually, as time expired, he tipped it with the 10th of a second. The ball goes through the basket as time expires. That's your ball game. 104-103. We got a Game 7 coming up on Monday. We'll get you set for all that. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Jay, who have been the best scorers in the NBA since the year 2000?
Number 5.
AI.
Number 4.
Yo, I'm going to give it to James Harden.
Number 3.
Yo, man, respect to Kobe.
Number 2.
Steph, the chef.
Number 1.
I got to go with him, man. Kevin Durant.
Key, J, and Max. Followed by Greeny. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio. After surviving their second straight must-win, the Celtics face yet another must-win, this time in Game 6. Will they survive, or will the Heat finally put them away and advance to the NBA Finals? Game 6 of the Celtics and Heat, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on Sirius XM Channel 80.
Take the lead on the 3 free throws by Butler, and it's just unfortunate that you walk out of the building tonight after you had that kind of comeback, which you've been doing so many times in the playoffs, and it happens the way that it happens. It doesn't give you a really great feeling as you think about this game right now.
No, it doesn't. I mean, Tommy, the reality there was that was maybe one of the most crushing defeats I can remember ever, really, considering what's at stake here, right? History being made on either side of whoever ends up winning this series, but the Heat being that close, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo struggling as much as they did, somehow, some way, Tommy, I still don't know how, being able to go on that run that you just mentioned. Then 3 free throws from Jimmy Butler to put the Heat ahead. 3 seconds left. Smart barely makes it. It rims out. And Tatum, who actually inbounded and did a really good job at coming back around. And with 0.2 of a second left, that's how close Miami was to the NBA Finals. 0.2 of a second left. He's able to just get his hand on it, and he put it back in. I mean, that's just a really tough one for this Heat team to have to go back and watch that film, because nothing went right for you. You were still in a position where somehow you were going to win this game. And then Jason Tatum, you tip your cap. He made a hell of a play.
Well, unlike last year when it happened the way that it did down the stretch, Jimmy taking the 3-point shot does not go in. Boston goes to the free throw line. They end up walking out of here with a victory. It's game number 7, series over. They go on to the finals. At least in the back of your mind, and understand you're up 3-0 and now it's tied. But this gives me something to think about with a spirited comeback like this. I don't care where they're going. They've won a couple of games up in that building. But the unfortunate thing for tonight, you mentioned it, that Jimmy and Bam struggled the entire evening, finished it up 9 of 37 from the field. That's under 25% from the floor. You're going to need a much better effort out of those guys, even though you give Jimmy a lot of credit for making the plays that he did down the stretch of this contest.
Yeah, and even Bam, right? I mean, look, what they did offensively tonight, we can talk about it. But even down the stretch, Bam had a big block as well, and defensively,
13 rebounds, 5 assists. Yeah.
Right, he
did
still
other
played.
things.
He still played a very good game. Look, if you want to find some way to really convince yourself that you can still go into Boston and win a Game 7, not that the Heat need convincing, obviously, but Bam and Jimmy Butler did not play their best game. So you were still in this position despite them just shooting awfully from the field. So they still have that to kind of hang their hat on, right, Tommy, where they can say our 2 best players did not play to the level we expect them to. And if they do, we're going to have a much better chance, no matter where they're playing, to go do it. And the fact that they've played very well in that building going back the past couple seasons. So as crushing as a loss as this is, you have to be able to appreciate, if you're Miami, the fact that this is the equity you built yourself by winning the first 3 games, and you have to take advantage of it.
The final score, Boston 104, Miami 103. Up next, we let it spow. The post-game thoughts of Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra in a matter of moments. This is the Miami Heat audio experience.
This is Jason Jackson with the Miami Heat, and I'm here to introduce you to Accordis, preferred partner of the Miami Heat. Accordis provides the latest technology to help us and many more enterprises like yours to thrive with their solutions for network, managed printing, IT security, and more. They hold one of South Florida's largest authorized partner networks, partnering with Cisco, Microsoft, Samsung, LG, Xerox, Dell, HP, and dozens more. Accordis gives your business the fast and effective tech game plan it needs to continue to win. To start winning with us, contact Accordis today at 1-888-331-3134 or visit them at www.accordiscorp.com.
Imagine a bank that is always in your court, one that sees their customers as part of a team with a common goal to achieve your dreams. Well, imagine that. There is one. We're Amerant. We're ready to help you wherever you are in life, and just as importantly, wherever you want to go. Because at Amerant, we want you to live a life beyond what you could imagine. Amerant, official bank of the Miami Heat. Member FDIC.
Fly to Philly, take off to Tampa, depart for Denver. Following your team on the road is more rewarding with the new American Airlines Advantage program. Your flights and everyday spend not only earn you miles towards your next trip, but also loyalty points toward Advantage status. All the more reason to purchase both a home and away jersey. With status comes great benefits like priority boarding, free checked bags, and complimentary upgrades. Not a member? Enroll for free today at aa.com. American Airlines, you are why we fly. Terms and conditions apply.
Injured in a crash? You deserve Anajar Levine. We stand up to the big insurance companies. They want you to settle for a fraction of what your case is worth, but we'll fight to get you the maximum money for your injuries. Experience the Anajar Levine difference. Call me, Glenn Levine, at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Fort Lauderdale.
Let's get back to the recap of the game, the post-game show. This is the Miami Heat audio experience.
Fires, top of the arc. Nothing but net for New England's own Duncan Robinson. His second 3-ball in 3 tries. He has 8 off the bench.
1 of 3 of his triples in tonight's game, an almost lucky 13, just not enough. 1 of 6 players, though, in double figures. Number 55 coming through as a reserve this evening. Welcome back, everybody. It's the show where we continue to post you up. The final score, Boston evens up the best of 7 series at 3 games apiece by edging Miami 104-103 on Derek White's tip-in the final second of regulation. Boys and girls aged 7 to 16. Junior Heat Camp is almost here for 7 weeks beginning at Cooper City High School starting Monday, June the 12th. Hoopers will learn from camp director Tony Fiorentino, Glenn Rice, and some of South Florida's top youth coaches. Campers will participate in a series of drills, games, and competitions. Registration is open, so visit www.juniorheat.com right now. Before we figure out whether we can go down to the interview room or not to get the head coach of the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra, let's go to the box score of tonight's game and start with the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown in 39 minutes, 9 of 16 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. 8 of 10 from the line, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 26 points for Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum in 44 minutes, 8 of 21 from the field, 0 of 8 from 3. So Brown and Tatum combined for 0 of 12 from the three-point line. But Tatum goes 15 of 15 from the line, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. 31 points for Tatum. And as I mentioned with Alejandro in the first segment, 25 at halftime, coming up with only 6. A nice adjustment by Miami to slow him down in the second half. Al Horford, 32 minutes, 2 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 2 from 3, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 4 points for Al Horford. Derek White, 42 minutes, 4 of 10 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. In every single game they've played in this series, he's had at least 3 3-pointers, and he had 6, of course, in game number 5. But his biggest bucket coming in the final second when he made the tip-in of the missed shot. 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks for Derek White. He finishes with 11 points. Marcus Smart, 42 minutes, 7 of 15 from the field, 4 of 11 from 3, 3 of 4 from the line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 21 points for Marcus Smart. So their MO is going to be the same thing, I believe, in game number 7. They played Tatum 44 minutes, Brown 39 minutes, White 42 minutes, and Marcus Smart 42. Not going that often to the bench. Is going to ride on the 5 guys they have in that starting lineup, because you listen to some of the numbers for what they had this evening.